submit to the High Council again this week on World Class Bullshitters. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and tonight I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the Doomcock. Doomcock, how you doing tonight, my friend?
I am full of fury and rage because there's an STD outbreak that has broken out. Well, that's what outbreaks do, I guess. They break out. But I'm telling you, it doesn't itch any less for that redundancy, that linguistic redundancy. My crotch is on fire because of this crap. And I've just released my review of the first episode of the second season, and thank God. So I'm having a celebratory drink with my friends, World Class Bullshitters, and that Star Wars girl.
Yes. So, Anna, you haven't been on the High Council for a while, right?
Yeah, it's been months. It's been a year, or yeah.
Close to it. So, everybody, say
Hmm?
hello to that Star Wars girl, Anna. She's you're one of the early members of the Fandom Menace. Excuse me, not the Phantom Menace. We weren't involved with that. The Fandom Menace. You're one of the earliest members of the Fandom Menace doing your YouTube videos. So, everyone, let's give a hail to Anna here.
Hello. Yeah, I was doing a live stream, so I sent a lot of people over from my stream over to this.
Well, thank you. Now, folks, you're probably wondering where EVS and Jeremy are. Jeremy's off working on his secret project, so that's all I can say. And EVS had some real-life business stuff to take care of. So, again, hosting duties fall on me, but this is Star Wars. This is Star Wars under Disney, and there's always something to talk about. So, guys, have you heard about the mismanagement of the Star Wars video game license over at EA?
I heard a little bit about it. I don't play too much video games from EA, so I didn't make a video about it. I don't know too much. What about you, Doomcock?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, they've, loot box. That's the only thing I have to say to send Star Wars gaming fans into, coma, loot box. It's just been a goddamn shit show for a long time, dude. So what's the new news? I don't know that.
So they just canceled an open world Star Wars game, which had a lot of people interested. And one of the people that actually worked on Rogue One, the writer, Gary Whitta, has come out to say that EA has catastrophically mismanaged Star Wars games. So you already brought up the loot box, fiasco from what? Last Christmas, right? Christmas 2017.
Yep.
Where they, nobody was wanting to play Star Wars Battlefront. We had all these videos about, is it gambling? Is it illegal? I think the Hawaiian governor made some kind of joke about it too. So it's been a thing. And so Anna, you don't play a lot of games. Doomcock, do you game pretty much or not really?
Yeah, I mean, when I have the time, I'm a YouTuber, so that means I have no life. But yeah, I love playing games. I have in the past. I played some of the old Kyle Katarn games, and Dark Forces, and I've done a lot of gaming off and on, usually mostly before my channel to consume my life.
Yes, dude, same here. And before the channel took off the way it did, I used to really love Star Wars games. I mean, the earliest one I had was probably Rebel Assault for the PC. I had Super Return of the Jedi as a kid, Rogue Squadron 1 and 2, eventually 3, and a whole bunch of other ones. But over the last couple of years, there's only been 2 big mainline Star Wars games, and those are since EA has put them out. Before that, we used to get a game, I don't know, every year, every other year. It felt like there was, what was the one? Republic Commando. There were the original 2 Battlefront games, The Force Unleashed, which I liked a lot.
Right.
But it seems like as soon as Disney took over, every aspect of Star Wars has shit the bed. You guys know I'm a big toy collector. The toys have gone downhill. The comic books, I liked the old Dark Horse stuff that they were doing right before Disney took over. Then they rebooted it. It got kind of stupid. The movies, we all feel the same way about that stuff. So it's another facet of Disney Star Wars that is almost embarrassing. I can't believe that, it's another failure on their part. You'd think at least in one regard they'd succeed.
Well, with EA and Disney together, don't have too much high hopes for that.
Yeah, EA has been like shitting the bed for a while. I mean, they're mostly famous in the gaming circles for, purchasing, better studios than they are and then strip mining them like locusts. And suddenly those studios don't exist anymore. So basically they're good at conquering the gaming world, not so much at making games that are great. That's my impression of EA.
Oh, I have a video coming out. Probably gonna have to come out Thursday because it's a lot longer. I mean, you talked about your 32 pages. I'm like, shit, my 9 pages don't seem like too much work, but still, all the editing, that part sucks. But what I was gonna say is they have made a mistake in the past. Well, not really a mistake. It was a business move that screwed over the consumers when they bought up the NFL license, because there used to be multiple football games each year. And then they bought the exclusivity rights, and then there's just Madden. And, some people hate it. Some people love it. And I look at it like they're just the electronic Disney, where Disney doesn't create Star Wars. They don't create Marvel. They didn't create Pixar was a George Lucas. Anyway, my point is they just kind of buy up shit. And then sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. And either way, I think they're just into IP mining, and that's cool for business. But as fans, it sucks because, when everything gets bought up, we kind of lose out on artistic creativity.
Oh yeah. I mean, these games, they're, licensed properties. I generally, unless it was Star Wars, I wouldn't play a game that was based off of a movie or a TV show. Because, I know then that the impetus for the game was not the mad inspiration of some brilliant designer, but some fucking marketing department. And I don't have that time to screw around with SKUs and, IPs and all that crap. I want some inspired stuff. And usually the greatest games come from left field,
Anna, Anna, you don't really have a horse in this race at all, right?
Well, the games that I grew up with, I played the original Mario game, and I liked that. But then growing up, my mother thought I was weird enough already. She wasn't going to bring video games into the mix. But the first game I did play was Sims 2, and that was on the computer. So I really like Sims because it was just virtual Barbie dolls, which I liked. And I also got introduced to Diablo when I was in college, and I really liked all the art for Blizzard. So like World of Warcraft, even though I've never played it, I'm really into the whole lore of all that. And then I got introduced to Diablo 3, and I was like, yes, this isn't a first-person shooter. I can actually, navigate this game. And so when I tried playing more video games, because I was in school for concept art for video game design and live action movies, so I needed to actually play these games so I could see how the art worked, as well as, when you have to talk to 3D modelers and then the people that actually set the actions for the games. So I tried playing it, and I was like, I am just so bad at this. This is not my thing. But I like the background to how the games are made. And as far as EA, every single teacher I had told me, do not work for EA. They will probably hire you right out of college, but they are the worst people to work for. They do not care about their employees. All they care about is dollar signs. They will use you until you are dead, and then they will just throw you away. Whereas Disney, I have heard good things about. Everyone that has worked at Disney has loved it, as far as, if you're working for Disney Animation or the games. So even though the people in charge of Disney don't care, at least they take care of their employees, whereas EA doesn't.
I mean, at least there's a positive thing to say about Disney.
Well,
yeah, one positive thing.
Well, Doomcock, you brought up about licensed games. It's kind of weird because when I was a kid, that's like the only things. Those were the games I really wanted to play. GoldenEye was my favorite video game. I really liked. What else did I play that was a licensed game? A lot of superhero video games. Now, admittedly, they're not the best. I'm not going to tell you that Spider-Man 1 for the original GameCube is the best GameCube game. I'd be full of shit. We all know it's Super Smash Brothers Melee. But I expect more out of Star Wars, and I don't think that makes the fans, the fandom menace, whatever. I don't think that makes people unrealistic. It's just you want a better brand of entertainment for your favorite thing. So this just, I don't know, it all just feels samey with Star Wars and Disney. But I know a lot of people in the chat are kind of getting into this, so let's see what they're saying. So Liquor Jim says, hail Jeff, hail Anna, hail Doomcock. Thank you very much. Salvador, there you are, man. Submit to the like button. Evening, Jeff. It's been a while. Setting up my office and the channel will be a go. Hail Anna, hail Doomcock.
Hail.
Thank you.
Salvador, I've been waiting to talk to you for a while, dude, because all this Marvel Legends stuff, and I'm just dying to talk to somebody that actually cares about it besides Trent, because Trent and I talk all the time, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to buy this. I'm like, I'm going to buy that too, but we need a third man. Oh, John Tennant Doomcock. He says, hail! By the way, please check out eGuard watches and their YouTube ad response to Gillette. Pathetic excuse for marketing. And EA never deserved a license for Star Wars games.
Yeah, it's kind of like William Money says in Unforgiven, deserves got nothing to do with it. You know, they
Yeah.
just got the money. They're just rapacious. Deserves absolutely got nothing to do with it. What they deserve is to really be out of business, basically, but that's not going to happen. So
I don't know. I like Sims. Sims is good.
oh, yeah, Sims is good, but I mean, I think these days, especially, I think EA has only gotten worse over time. Honestly, you know, these days they're a kind of a hated company.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it used to be okay. You know, they did some good stuff. They were still rapacious back then, but I think now that their grip is tightened and all the star systems have slipped through their fingers, you know, now they're not even trying to be creative. They're just trying to, you know, squeeze harder and harder.
Now, Anna, have you had a response video to the Gillette situation on your channel?
No, as I drop things. No, I watched the commercial. I just didn't care. So the Gillette, that's that razor thing, right? Where
Yeah.
See, I use my razors from Dollar Shave Club, so I think it's stupid when people go and, you know, waste all that money on stuff. So I couldn't care less, and I've been dealing with other things. So yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it for about 5 minutes. I wasn't that big of a Gillette enthusiast. I own shaving cream. It's like it's just a utility item. But I do see how people do get upset, and I don't think it's really a company's place to, you know, throw politics at you. It's like you're a company, you're a business. You want to make as much money as possible. I think you cut yourself off from a certain sector, and it's just dumb.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to watch their business tank, then I guess make your own mistakes. But when I watched that commercial, I didn't think it was a razor commercial. I thought it was like be a good parent commercial. So
hey, I want to throw something out to you, both of you guys. If you ever get a chance, watch the Windex father-daughter commercial. I just watch it and get back to me, because I saw it in a movie theater. I had no clue it was a Windex commercial. You're going to be blown away when you see it.
I want to watch it right now.
Go ahead if you want to watch it. I'll read some of these super chats. I want your response, because I think you'll be blown away that that's actually a commercial for Windex.
When did it come out?
Probably 2 years ago, maybe. 2 years ago sounds pretty good. It's got a boat in it. I don't know. I just remember there's a boat, and it's really bizarre. It's like a father-daughter, you know, growing up type of thing.
Okay, I'm going to mute myself and watch this.
All right, cool. Sentient Root Beer says, oh, by the way, folks, if you guys have a better idea for Star Wars licensed video games, like who should hold the license, let me know and pitch your favorite or your best Star Wars concept. We'll read them on air. So Sentient Root Beer says, Heil High Council, I bring you tidings of burgers and milk.
All right.
I'll take the
tidings
burger.
of burger and milk. Sounds like a weird kind of Christmas carol. Oh, tidings of burgers and milk.
Burgers and milk. Next year, this coming Christmas, Doomcock, the Christmas album.
No, that's right.
I'll do your album artwork.
That would be fun.
I'll get my painter friend to do it.
Jeff, there was a Windex little thing right when the commercial opened. There was one in the boat, and then there was one on the cart right before he looked in the window to see his baby.
Yeah, but in the movie theater, I just was like, what is this? We're sitting there, and I'm like, how is this a Windex commercial? It blew me away.
Well, now that I know what to look for, there's all the hidden Windexes, just like hidden Mickeys.
There you go. I guess Windex did a good job. I'm still talking about a commercial 3 years later.
Wow. I got under your skin there.
Yeah, not even in a bad way. I just was like, this is a Windex ad?
Wow. They squeaky cleaned the windshield of your mind.
If only I could wipe out Disney Star Wars. Salvador also says, P.S. Pre-orders for Star Wars BS Black Series General Grievous are live. If I collected stuff from the prequels or Star Wars stuff currently, maybe. But my heart belongs to Marvel Legends right now. Walking Tin Can, thank you very much. I hate SJWs in Star Wars. They're coarse and rough and irritating, and they get everywhere. Not like the High Council. The High Council, where everything is soft and smooth. Sexual tension rises.
Wow. There's some weird subtext tonight. Is it a full moon? What the hell's going on?
It's the blood moon. We're all still, entranced by it.
Ah, I see. I've been out of touch. I've been down here at the center of the earth laboring on this goddamn thing that's endless. And I only gotten the first part of the review out. So I'm kind of shell-shocked, frankly. I'm a bit shell-shocked at the moment.
I had to teach myself how to use Excel because we learned it in high school and I forgot because that was like 15 years ago. So I'm sitting there trying to do Excel and then print shipping labels and do all these damn parts from things for my Indiegogo campaign. I'm just like, okay, this is not overwhelming. And I'm making videos and believe me, I'm with you, man. I can't wait to get through everything and just take a nice long break, aka Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Star Trek news that I need to get to, and I've still been meaning to do something on this goddamn Gillette thing because, they really, really, really deserve to be out of business. Honest to God. Look, you don't go make a Super Bowl commercial to beard, masculine toxic specimens in their lair while they are enjoying the toxic masculine ritual of the Super Bowl. You do that, and that's, it's like Bugs Bunny would say in the old cartoons, of course, this means war. I mean, you cannot do that. That takes some serious commitment to SJW principles. And I just, man, if you went apeshit about, Colin Kaepernick taking a knee, I mean, good God, man, this is a direct torpedo, like aimed right at the heart of masculinity. If they actually run this thing on the Super Bowl like they were planning to, I'll just be flabbergasted.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like middle America is the right place for that because people are gonna be like, what?
Yeah.
Like, show me a trailer for fucking Star Wars or Avengers or something during the Super Bowl.
Yeah. They're just actually trying to ruin our good time. How many people will see that and just be like, pissed out of their minds and not be able to enjoy their pizza and beer and Super Bowl, for God's sakes. That's a little enough to ask out of life, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll laugh my ass off if there's a big backlash the day after the Super Bowl.
Oh, I hope so. I
just finished it.
And?
That the ending was funny. It's not a Windex commercial. It's did the president of Windex want to do an ode to his daughter or something? That's what it seems like. But there was hidden Windexes in it. It just doesn't make me feel anything.
Yeah, but isn't that such a bizarre commercial though? I
can see how it is. Yeah.
It'd be like if, I was watching, I don't know, a whole thing about a farmhand and his dad and him were wrangling cows. It's like McDonald's. I'm loving it. It's like, what? I just don't get, the correlation, but whatever. Windex is a family.
If they're handling cows, then, they could be shipping their cows off to McDonald's and how they, support their farm.
But that's really morbid if you think about it. Father and son bonded over death.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I grew up on a farm, so we used to play this game where we would eat steak, our mom would cook a steak and we would all try to guess which cow it was.
That is morbid.
Or maybe that's just me and my morbid sense of humor.
Yeah, I guess so.
I dig it though. Let's see. We are joined by a guest, folks. The Nerdrotic channel's here.
Greetings, everybody. How's it going, High Council, Doomcock?
Hey, Gary, what's up?
What's up? Star Wars Girl. Greetings.
Hello.
I've never met you, so it's nice to meet you. And Jeff, thanks for inviting me on. This is great. You saved me from counting individual Rotten Tomato reviews. It's been horrific.
Well, I'm glad you could make it, man. You have been probably the most requested person on the channel. So now you're here.
Wow. It's an honor to be here. And thanks EVS and Jeremy for letting me keep one of your seats warm. That's I've been listening since your first High Council. So
thank you.
Fan. Yeah. Oh God. I've been a fan. I've been a subscriber since you guys were in the 4000s.
That's a long time ago.
Oh yeah. Hey, to me, you, whether you like it or not, also helped start ComicsGate in a little way. Cause that's the first, I actually heard your video before I heard Zach's on Marvel's literally begging people to buy comics. I thought that was a masterful video. So if you guys can dig it up, find it, because Jeff was way ahead of the curve on that. So,
thank you, man. I haven't thought about that video in a long time.
That's how I found you.
Cool. Yeah, I think you're the only person that'll tell me that.
Well, you went in your own direction, which was great, because I love how you do things. How you,
Thank you.
How you make videos that just aren't. I mean, it's topical, but they last a while. They got legs. So
that's my whole game plan, because I'll watch the Kathleen Kennedy video keep going on months later. I'm like, people still want to talk about this. Cool. I'm glad I made it. So
thanks for having me on. It's awesome to be on with my friend Doomcock. We gotta get you on it. We gotta get you on an Exozone, man.
I'm dying to. When is your next one?
Oh boy, I think this weekend.
Yeah, I'm guessing this weekend actually.
Yeah,
if it's Saturday night, I'm free. If it's Sunday, I can't make it because it's the Royal Rumble. So just letting you guys know.
I think I think that's possible.
Yeah, we'll look at it. I don't have my schedule in front of me, but I think that's definitely a possibility.
Oh yeah,
cool. And if not, I'll be there for the next one. Like I said, I love that kind of stuff. When Doomcock told me that's what he does, I was like, no way. That's kind of shit I love to talk about with my buddies. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've been having a great time, and actually, I haven't been able to talk to you, Gary, in a couple of days because I've been in my underground bunker, with my tinfoil hat on and sandbags all around, dissecting this Star Trek Discovery crap, and finally, I can breathe because I've released the first half or third of my goddamn review. So this is the first chance I've had to breathe in days.
I saw it pop up. I was listening to Odin, then you guys popped up. Odin's movie blog. He's cool. And I was literally counting RT reviews. So I need to. I'll catch that afterwards, man.
Oh no,
I'm sure it's epic.
I'm fried. I'm fried, dude.
Yeah. So do I need to watch that dumpster fire of a show or just?
Oh no,
no.
Just watch. I mean, you've seen the reviews. You've seen it all. I mean, you do not want to contract that particular STD of the mind.
I'll pass.
Yeah.
So Gary, since it's your first time on the channel, what are your thoughts on the current state of Star Wars?
I personally had given up on it. I after I watched The Last Jedi, I did a live stream review that nobody watched, and I had a friend on who liked it. So we tried to do the counterpoint, but I walked out with a headache, like a really severe migraine headache. And I don't know if it was from dehydration or I was so pissed what they did to Luke, and just what Disney has done and what they've done overall to Marvel Comics, to Star Wars. I mean, Rogue One's okay. I'm okay with Rogue One. If you take away that ending, I'm not sure I am. And, Clone Wars was okay, but I was out, and I was old enough I saw the first movie in the theaters. So I'm an old dude, and I was 7 when I saw it. And it just, I equate it to watching the Beatles for the first time. It's our generation's Beatles. And I think we see if the Beatles had gotten back together or stayed together and had corporate sponsorship, this would have happened with the Beatles. Star Wars, dude, it looked good on paper. Everything looked good on paper. Kathleen Kennedy, everything looked like it was going to work out, and it obviously has not. They've gone. It's as you said, it's a dumpster fire. And if you watch Star Trek, you would just go through the same thing. Where if you watch Doctor Who, you'd go through the same thing.
I used to watch Doctor Who.
Yeah. So
I'm really hesitant to watch what's her name, Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah,
her show or her season.
It's bad. It's really, really bad.
Here's a question I'm going to pose to everyone here on the panel, because I think we have a pretty good, diverse group of people from a different walk of life. Why geek culture, and why right now? Why is everything currently under attack? It's not just Star Wars. It's Star Wars and comics, Star Trek and Doctor Who, and this and that and the other. And first it was video games, but they got too big of a pushback for that. But why geek culture in the current climate?
Oh boy, this one. We can get in the weeds on this one pretty far. Actually, Doomcock has talked about this on a great video. I think as far as infiltrating and with politics and agenda, because it's got the public's attention right now. So anytime something gets, hits the stratosphere and gets that big, everybody wants to get their hands on it. They're it's like when a star gets big, all of a sudden all his old friends start calling him or her, and they want to get attached to the success, and they want to insert their agenda or whatever. And it's a way to get through to the public and change minds. And it's kind of sinister. It's kind of sinister. But with Star Wars, I guess they read the tea leaves wrong. Their trend scouting was wrong. Everything was based. Man, I don't know if I want to get that deep into it, but
go for it, man. This is the High Council. People expect a lot on a Tuesday night from us.
Okay. So I went over this with Doctor Who, and when you see a finished product, it's 2 years old. So everything is based on trends from 2 years ago. And trend scouting, I used to do it for my comic store. My wife does it for her salon. And, companies like Disney do it too. They hire big marketing firms to do trend scouting and kind of see what the public awareness is. They based everything on a certain person winning the election a couple of years ago. And it was supposed to be kind of a mirror of what happened when another president won before that. I don't want to mention names or anything, but like 24 had a black president. You started seeing pop culture reflect what was going on in life. And at first it was nothing. It was just a little bit here, a little politics there. That's fine. It's, I have no problem with a little bit of politics mixed into my show once in a while. It doesn't really bother me. But when it's the same thing over and over in absolutely everything, that's agenda. That's propaganda. And it became so clear with Doctor Who. It left me speechless at the end of it. I couldn't believe it. And what's the reason for that? They want to change minds. And I come at things as a centrist, as a complete. I'm not political at all. I don't care anymore. I just stopped caring. I turned off the news years ago, and I just want to watch entertainment and enjoy it. So I don't care what side of the aisle you come from, to be honest with you. But with Star Wars, it's not as bad as Doctor Who, but at least Star Wars is trying to course correct. I think it's way too late, but demasculating Luke Skywalker. Just look at every white male hero. Even I'm watching The Punisher right now, and this has something to do with it. It's almost like they're apologetic that is their main character. So they have to do everything possible for him to ask permission to do stuff, and somebody's in charge of him. And I'll do a whole video on it, but it's a lot like Iron Fist, and it's just happening over and over again. And it's Time's Up Hollywood right now, and everything has to adhere to the Bechdel test. And I'm sure you guys know what that is.
Sadly,
yeah. And right now, that is what guides Hollywood. And not that I'm against more women being in stuff and more women being in charge, but it's every single thing I watch now, every single thing. And it's every big franchise has been co-opted because they think this is going to sell. I have no idea why. It's the stupid test. You're right. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know why pissing off half of your audience all of a sudden became an okay thing to do.
Yeah. And, speaking to your point, I just want to say, yeah, I've never minded women in film. Of course not. I love women. I'm a heterosexual male, which makes me, I guess, the most toxic of all. But I saw something that I've been wanting to rant about, but I've been in my Star Trek Discovery bunker. But once again, I returned to my old foe, Entertainment Weekly, and I see on the cover that Men in Black is no longer Men in Black because it's a man and a woman. So we can't even have that. We can't even have a movie called Men in Black based upon Men in Black that have been spotted in the UFO community and lore that have always been men. So
well, I mean, at the end of the first Men in Black movie, there was a woman.
Say what?
At the end of the first Men in Black movie, when oh my God, what's his name? When he retires, that woman, the doctor woman, she becomes his partner. So it's not too out there. I haven't seen any of the stuff from Men in Black, but I see where you're going.
See, I don't have any interest in Men in Black without Will Smith. I don't have a problem with What's Her Face or Chris Hemsworth. My thing is, it's not even about, women or being co-opted in entertainment. I just think the stuff they make sucks. Like Wonder Woman was fine. I liked that movie. She was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't have any problem with her.
Wonder Woman. I mean, if it was Wonder Man, I'd have a problem with it,
Yeah, because Wonder Man's a shitty character from the Avengers, so I think we have a much different film to cover.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Oh, dude,
Barbara Gordon is a dude. All of a sudden, I have a problem with that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I don't agree with the fact that they're taking already established characters and then forcing it to be a woman. I mean, yeah, I'm a girl. I like most of the characters I like in movies are men, like Lord of the Rings, all male cast. They're the greatest characters. If you want to go watch Alien, Ellen Ripley, amazing character.
Oh,
It doesn't matter that she's a woman. She's a well-written character. So if they want to go and make these movies with, okay, let's show a strong female character, learn how to write a strong female character, go watch Silence of the Lambs. There you go. But they don't. They're like, this is something that makes money. Let's take it. Let's throw some women in it. And, let's make them talk down to men. That makes them powerful. No, it doesn't. And the Star Wars movie, it makes me physically uncomfortable when I watch purple hair talk to Poe. And I don't like Poe, but the way that she was speaking to him, it makes my skin crawl because I'm just like, if that was a man and Poe was a woman, everyone would freak out and be like, what a sexist. But they don't care because she's their purple hair princess lady.
Yeah, I mean the concept behind relabeling, just a established male character with the female is an inherently sexist because they don't feel women are marketable enough to build an original character on their own.
Exactly. And if you look at the original Star Wars, you can switch Leia and Luke, and maybe you would have to do something differently with Han, or maybe Han is into. If Luke is a female character, then Han would, they'd have that. It'd be different. But you can switch them. The story will work still. So that's a well-written character, and it doesn't need a gender behind it. So all the stuff that they're doing, I think, is just nonsense and just exactly what everyone's been saying. It's to push an agenda.
It's pushing an agenda and lazily. That's because there are shows out there that have political agendas that are entertaining and good because they're done by talented people. So, I always point out Alan Moore. Alan Moore thinks he's a wizard, and has out there. But I love reading Alan Moore, and I don't agree with anything that guy thinks politically. But it's fine because he's good. Doesn't matter,
So, are you a big Watchmen fan then?
Not of the TV show, no.
No. I meant
a huge Watchmen fan.
We're having a commentary on 369 because it happens to fall on a Wednesday night. I'd like to throw out an invitation to you. Early on, so we'll give you plenty of time.
Accepted. Right,
yes. Because awesome. I'm a fan of the book. I don't really like to call it a graphic novel because it was 12 comic book issues, so I usually just call it the comic book. But the movie, I have some. I like it. I dislike certain parts. We'll talk about it next. Well, it's like 2 months from now. But I just wanted to get that out there, see if you were available.
Yeah, I'll be there.
If you're interested, and if you're interested, I'll just remind me.
Oh, yeah.
I am not a huge Watchmen fan, so I apologize.
That's fine. You're only missing out on one of the most important comic books ever made, but that's cool.
I don't know. I watched the movie and I couldn't stay awake.
Well, it's all that, blue and gray. I mean, Watchmen's in color. So, it helps in the comic that it's actually in color. But I got to say, Watchmen is the greatest graphic novel ever written, in my opinion. And, I was deeply, I admired what Snyder did actually with Watchmen, except for copping out on the ending, which, it's basically like, I use the analogy. If you want to shoot Moby Dick, you got to make a movie about a whale. And if you're shooting Watchmen, you need to be faithful to the actual plot that was in Watchmen. And if it's visually too much of a challenge for you, if you're afraid you can't pull it off, that the audience will think it's dumb or whatever, then you're not really the guy to make that movie. That's my opinion. And so in that sense, he failed epically, absolutely epically. And the TV show is beneath contempt. It's by one of the hacks that it lost, which, I hate more than just about anything that I can
imagine.
Lindelof? In Star Trek Discovery.
Yes.
Yeah, Lindelof.
God, that is a name I try to avoid. And because how is it that him and Akiva Goldsman and these certain names always get attached to comic book and geek culture shit? It's like you guys made one thing 25 years ago that didn't suck, and you're still involved. It's like when they try to say, could Kevin Smith direct the next Marvel movie? It's like, no, guy hasn't made a decent movie in a decade. Let's just stop talking about these same people.
I have a theory about that. I think Akiva Goldsmith for sure, and Lindelof possibly have the flight manifest for the Lolita Express. That's the only reason I can think that he keeps getting work. He's involved in the Picard show. He did Titans, which was just, oh my God. I don't know if any of you guys saw Titans on the DC.
Oh yeah.
Universe.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Robin stabbed a guy in the nethers with a pair of scissors.
What?
Yeah.
In the first couple episodes, yeah.
Oh, I have that streaming service, but I'm not going to watch that show.
Actually,
basically it was like turning into some kind of religious thing, right? With Raven being, I don't know, an antichrist or that about that time when she was in the room and there was all this biblical stuff, and I just quit watching. I said, yeah, too much.
Well, Doomcock, what do you guys think of the religious guy in The Punisher? See, I don't think it's I don't think it's that bad. I just think he's a shit character. I don't like him. I don't enjoy him, and I don't enjoy this season, which surprises me because I thought the first season was really good. But this one, I feel like it's just a rehash of the first season with Jigsaw again, and they're back in New York and Madani and all these unlikable side characters. I wanted to see Frank go fight like a Mexican cartel, or go to Canada and deal with something, or go to a foreign country like how Blade did in part 2. Do something cool with the Punisher. He knows no limits, no bounds. Take him out of New York City. But I just thought the show so far, I'm 8 episodes in. I'm disappointed overall. It's not as good as any of the seasons of Daredevil, or I don't know how far I want to take that, but I'm just going to keep that statement right there.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm only 5 episodes in, and it feels like they have 2 hours of actual material that they're stretching across 13 episodes. And in the third episode, when kind of spoiler, sorry, when Jigsaw is on a bus and then they flash back, and I'm like, oh my God, already we're so it feels like a really arduous hike with a lot of switchbacks. That's what
you're going to keep getting that.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I haven't bothered. I mean, I saw season 1, liked it well enough, but like I said, I've just been too damn busy, dealing with other crap. So I guess I'm not going to watch it if you guys are saying it sucks that bad.
I know.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that it's good, but you guys make it sound a lot more like what it looks like it would be.
Well, Anna, how did you feel about the first season?
I didn't watch it. I don't watch things if I don't like the actors or actresses in it, and I didn't like the main guy that they casted for him because he was okay in Walking Dead, but now I'm just like, eh. So
have you ever seen the Tom Jane Punisher?
I did when I was really young, and I liked it.
I really still like him. He's my favorite.
Tom Jane is my Punisher. Yep.
Yeah. I was
100% agree.
16 when that movie came out, and I was just like, I got it on DVD, I got it on Blu-ray, I got the director's cut on DVD. I think I even bought an old Marvel Legends Tom Jane Punisher from Toy Biz. So I do like that character quite a bit. I wish he would have come back. He's not too old. Kind of like I want Wesley Snipes to still Blade. Tom Jane should still be my Punisher. I'd buy that 100%.
Yep, he can still be Punisher.
Oh yeah.
Let me read a couple super chats and we'll keep on rolling because I feel like we got a great flow tonight. This is a fun show. Math isn't my best subject. Sorry, Megatron95 says, if there was a way for Disney and EA to lose the Star Wars license, I would gladly support that cause. Well, my friend, you're not alone, dude. Trust me. Math isn't my best subject says, hail Doomcock. Hey, Anna. Jeff. Well, thank you, Math isn't my best subject, for that warm welcome. So glad you're here. And I love Lisa so much. Jaron Ricewick says, hello to the guests. Love you both and your work.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
You.
Cheers.
Let's see. Where was I at? TLJ Russian Bot says, Your Eminence, wonderful of you to grace the counts with your presence. Anna, Jeff, great to hear you, and keep up these Star Wars and Trek shills honest. Or keep these Trek shills honest. Don't worry, I will. I got another Scott Mendelson video probably going to hit Saturday. It's funny. This new one I'm working on, folks, I told you it'd be out tomorrow. It's really long. It's going to be out Thursday just so I can keep up with the flow of everything. But don't miss out. It's going to be as good as the last two, which have been big successes. Mark C says, hail to Lord Doomcock from your new Legionnaire.
Oh, awesome. Welcome to the Legion, my friend.
Yeah, Mark's a legit dude. He has an icon of the thing. Gary, you're a comic book guy. Where do you rank Fantastic Four? Are they a favorite of yours or just
Absolute favorite.
Oh, absolute favorite. Nice.
Absolute favorite. John Byrne's run is legendary. Of course, Kirby and Stan Lee's, but I love John Byrne's run. Absolutely adore it. John
Byrne is one of my ultimate favorites. Seriously, it's John Byrne, John B7, and John Romita Sr. Those are my three favorite artists overall. So
that's why we're talking. I just you know what you're talking about. Oh yeah, we could. I owned a comic shop for 10 years. We could talk off the air forever about comics.
We will. I got a professional email to George Perez, and he's now retiring. So I'm going to try to interview him for the channel. I got a connection to Ethan, obviously. I'm friends with Alex Saviuk on Facebook. He used to work on Web of Spider-Man. So I'm trying to do a series of comic book artist interviewers. So that's going to be my 2019, new thing I'm working on.
That is brilliant. I'll be watching.
And I also have a connection to, not a connection personally, but I know how to get in contact with that guy, Michael Uslan, the guy that was the producer on all the Batman movies. So I'm going to try to get in contact with him too for an interview because, Batman turns 30 this year. And I thought, who better to have him? I mean, I can't get Michael Keaton, but I could get this dude possibly. And he has all the insider information.
30?
So,
it turns 30? Really?
Yeah. Batman 89, bro. It's 2019.
I was 19 when that came out. So
I think you and my friend Joel are the same age because that was the last thing he did before he went to the Navy.
Oh. I can't say that was the last thing I did before I went somewhere, but it wasn't the Navy.
Well, it'll make you feel better. I got a box of Batman cereal you could have. Make you feel young again.
Can I eat it?
I mean, you can. It's wrapped in plastic.
All right. It probably lasted that long. So,
yeah, one of our listeners. I'm not going to eat the cereal, but I love having the box of it because, God, Michael Keaton Batman. It's just a comforting thing. Even though he'll probably kick your ass, he's just we'll talk about that later, dude. Please, yes. I think we have a lot to talk about. Lord Arnold, thank you very much. Hope you're feeling better, Anna. Hail Supreme Leader.
Thank you.
What was wrong? Were you just a cold?
Oh, no. I made a video earlier. I was camping this weekend, and I got back, and I got a text from my mom telling me that my sister's in the hospital, so...
Oh, no.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Thanks.
Hope your sister gets better.
I do, too.
Rivantari says, Obsidian, I'm already excited for Outer Worlds, and they could do a fantastic open world Star Wars entry. What else does Obsidian Games do? I'm not, like I said, I like gaming, but I don't know every studio. Let's see, Obsidian Games. I'm more of admittedly a Rockstar. Okay, so they did Fallout New Vegas, Pillars of Eternity. Oh, Knights of the Old Republic too. Okay, there we go. Hey, Neverwinter Nights. I remember that game getting a ton of hype back in the day. Never played it though. Feel like that's a good choice there, Rivantaris. Bombshoe says, "Get woke, go broke. 2019, the year of the beard. Hail the world-class bullshitters." Well, thank you very much, Bombshoes. If I could grow a beard, I would, but it looks like crap, so I don't. And then Jeremy Simmons says, "I shave everything for whammon. Workout." I don't even know what to say to that.
Everything? Wow.
A little manscaping going on there. All right.
TMI.
Yes.
He's like Frank in that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where he doesn't want to get germs, so he shaves his head and his eyebrows and dips himself in
Oh, I know it. God, that's a great show. That is a funny show.
It is. I think that might be it's my favorite comedy. I gotta put Twilight Zone and Miami Vice on that list as well. It's just like favorite show. That's a big title to give just It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
It is, but man, I tell you what, those episodes with Charlie doing music are just incredible. Like, if you want this boy's soul, you have to pay the troll hole. When the gang goes black, turns black, and they're suddenly in a the Wiz kind of musical. And
what are the rules?
Song, yeah, fantastic.
I always like the one where he's getting ready for the health inspection.
Oh, Charlie work.
Yes, that one. Oh, it kills me every time I watch it.
Yeah.
I think some of the earlier episodes are really mean-spirited, but that's what I like about it.
Oh, yeah.
They become a little too not too cartoony, but they become more cartoony as the show goes on. And I still love it. I'm a season behind because it hasn't hit Hulu yet. But I haven't left disappointed. I'll put it like that. I still love that show.
Oh, yeah.
MW77 says, Tarkin is gay in Disney canon. No joke.
Well, in like somebody's book, right? I mean, that'd be more like extended universe, right? I mean, haven't they disavowed the books?
No, it's the new Disney books, so it's kind of canon.
God, are they saying that's canon?
I think so, to be honest with you, man. To me, that's the epitome of what Disney Star Wars is. You take away a good story for kind of a cause to get some bonus points on Twitter or Reddit or some, non-existent important thing, and then you go like, oh, well, Grand Moff Tarkin wasn't gay, but we're changing it just for the sake of modern whatever. And you got to defend it like, well, I'm not homophobic. I just don't like that you change it. And it becomes a game of like,
Yeah.
But it makes no sense. His sexuality has nothing to do with his job. That doesn't make him more scary. That doesn't make him, oh, I'm going to blow up your planet because I'm gay. It's like, no, I'm going to blow up your planet because I want information out of you and I'm going to do anything possible to get it. That's stupid. I didn't know about that. And now I think, what? Why?
Well, I think, gay and pansexual and all this crap. I mean, this is supposed to be basically a fairy tale. It's supposed to be set in a galaxy far, far away. And it's not supposed to be like the sex lives, it's of these characters. It doesn't enter into it.
The only time it does is because Anakin needs to have his kids. He had twins somehow because he's a straight dude and he liked Padme. Now he has twins. There you go. The only time it's okay.
Yeah, but we're not going to get into his erectile dysfunction or, what he had to do to, pin up over the bed, walk it down, Dita, walk it down. I mean, it's just stupid.
Yeah, Star Wars is very simplistic when you think about it. It's just good versus evil. There are nuances here and there, but I mean, I think that's why it appeals to so many people across so many different cultures, because George Lucas got the distillation of the hero's journey in something everybody can relate to. And I know you've gone on about how much you love Luke Skywalker. Male or female, people can relate to those characters and get behind them. Nowadays, they're just weird, replications of like what they think today's people are about. But in reality, people just go, I don't like these characters. They lack this, they lack that. But then they always want to hide behind the whole, oh, but they're diverse, they're this, they're that. And then they're still hollow characters.
Yeah, nobody cares if they're not a well-written character. It's like when I played Diablo 3, I'm not looking at Tyrael, oh, he's black, No, he's the angel that's going to help me beat this bad guy. It doesn't matter what skin color he is. It's
exactly. I watched Winter Soldier, and then I saw an old Facebook post. I said, the Falcon was one of my favorite parts. He had an interesting backstory. I don't care what color Anthony Mackie is. He's a good guy with charisma who brings, something to a character that I thought sucked before this.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. And a part of this is they have this, I don't know, this narcissistic thing where people have to identify with every character they root for. They have to pretend they're that character like they're 6 or 7. Like, I liked Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I didn't identify with Buffy very much, or with the cheerleader, but I liked Buffy. I liked the show for its time. It's a weird self-obsession with the culture. I don't get. I saw that constantly with Doctor Who. Is now a lot of girls can pretend they're the Doctor. Well, they could have pretended that they were the Doctor anyway. Who's stopping them?
I know.
It's like, it doesn't matter. They can also pretend they're Romana, or we can. Yeah, it's just dumb. You're right, Jeff. They thought they could make money off of this. They thought they were doing the right thing, and that's how out of touch. I mean, it's become its own class, the entertainment class and the entertainment media class. The Mendelssohns out there, who the media used to be out for us. What the hell happened to that? I mean, I know it's long gone, and I sound old and get off my lawn with that, but that's what they used to be out with. That they used to be out for us to get us to truth, and now they're out there for access and whatever.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All I was gonna say is I think they've shown their hand, and I think a lot of people, like, you see shill thrown out a lot more. I mean, I'm not saying it was because of me, but I know a lot of people use the phrase shill now. It's kind of, it's like a big game of telephone, except we all kept the same word, shill. And I mean, even last year, the guy from Entertainment Tonight, Roz Weston's like, I'm not a shill. I'm not being paid for this, that. Like, there are honest people out there, but I think it puts a guy like John Campea on blast, Chris Stuckman, certain YouTubers that do get exclusive access to shit by kissing a company's ass. And I think that's part of where, the culture war and, entertainment and the fans and all that stuff, that's another aspect, another battlefield, because people just want honesty. They come to people like us. They're like, well, I like these guys. They give an honest take on it. And, maybe I'll give it a shot, this or that. Like, we don't, like, none of us here benefit. Like, if you go all out and go see, Shazam or Aquaman or something, we don't get a cut. I just said I liked Aquaman. I think you should go watch it, and then that's my take. But if you notice, like with Aquaman, a lot of people said, "Oh, Aquaman's not that big of an achievement. It's this, not this. It's not that." There's always some kind of agenda with the media, the entertainment media people, and they're already irrelevant, but I think they'll be gone in 10 years. Because social media,
that's their job. That's how they get money. Oh, if I write a good review for this person, they're gonna like me. They're gonna let me go to these events.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how they're getting paid, Anna, because I know how much these people get paid mostly, and it's not much. It's not much. Actually, YouTube would probably be a better opportunity for them in the future. Not that I'm giving them any ideas, but that's why that's why I found you. That's why I found Doomcock. That's and Jeremy and everybody involved with Geeks and Gamers was I wasn't even when I was at the comic shop, I couldn't read Bleeding Cool anymore, even 10 years ago, and there was no outlet. There was nowhere to go. So we finally have a place to go where we get some honesty. And it's nice. It's nice that we found each other. They're trying to stop us though. They're doing whatever they can to shut us down. I was going to talk to you privately about this, Doomcock, but Star Trek Discovery is advertising heavily on YouTube right now, and I'm wondering if they're going to throttle anything we do.
I don't know. They're advertising on my channel.
Yeah,
which
I mean, they're welcome to.
Good luck. I don't know. It's bizarre, dude. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. It's really desperation. I mean, the louder they're squealing, the more I think that they're on the ropes.
Yep.
And there was this article. Well, there's been tons of articles about, oh, everything's going great and everything's wonderful, and yet, if that's the case, then why is the Michelle Yeoh series canceled? And why is Picard now a limited series? Why? If everything is wonderful in Star Trek land, it's not. That's the key.
It is. And this is just a repeat of what happened with Star Wars. Everything was great. Everything was awesome. We had Boba Fett in production and Obi-Wan in production. And then that stopped. And the course correction happened. We'll see with episode 9, but I don't know.
I think there's going to be a lot more callbacks, and they're going to lay it on a lot thicker in terms of nostalgia, and they're going to really walk on eggshells in terms of how they treat the fans. But I still think the movie's going to be similarly hollow to The Force Awakens and partially The Last Jedi. I don't think it can be as offensive as The Last Jedi. They know, like, no matter what Rian Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy, and everybody at Lucasfilm and Disney want to tell us publicly, they know that movie did way less, and they know how people feel about it. And I mean, they can go out and see Star Wars merchandise. Nobody wants it. Other brands they have are making money. Like I've said before, I think Disney has gotten too big and it's its own competition, and it's kind of stupid. But
way too big and big. Well, I mean, I hate this Fox deal. I hate everything about it. So
yeah, I do too. And I'm on a big X-Men kick right now. I'm talking reading comics, collecting figures and stuff. And I'm thinking, man, X-Men could be this and that. And I'm thinking, yeah, but think of all the negatives that come along with that. I mean, they own Die Hard, Alien, Predator, these great franchises. I'm not saying they've been great recently, but still, Disney owns so much. And I honestly think they spent the money to get a couple things, like rights to Star Wars forever, because remember, that was a 20th Century Fox picture, the original Star Wars flick. So I think it was until 2020 something until they got the rights. So when they bought it, they got it. They get the rest of Marvel. They'll try to buy it more shit. The back catalog's just a bonus in many ways, I think.
Yeah, and with that rapacious power comes an immunity to reviews. It's going back to what you guys were saying, that these guys that make a living or try to make a living at this can no longer afford to be honest. They simply cannot afford it, because you pan a Marvel movie, a Fox movie, anything on ABC, and a Star Wars movie, you may not get invited to the next premiere. You may not get access to that movie. And, early reviews are the life's blood of these people. So they can no longer afford to be honest. The only place you can find honesty on YouTube, right here.
Right here.
I love the plug, Doomcock. I love it.
That's right.
Now, Doomcock, you have a very special message from our friend Alejandro Flores Ibarra. Doomcock, what are your thoughts on Dune?
On Dune? Well,
yes.
The book is fantastic. It's a science fiction classic. The David Lynch movie I love David Lynch, or have loved him up until he did Twin Peaks: The Return, but that's neither here nor there. I won't talk about that right now. He basically did the best he could with Dune, but it's just not his kind of movie. You know, he basically did that so that he could get the De Laurentiis to make Blue Velvet, which is a masterpiece of cinema, in my opinion. So I forgive him for its excesses, for its kind of cheesiness. I will say I still enjoy watching it, regardless of its flaws. I mean, it's got Sean Young in it, for God's sakes, and Kyle MacLachlan, and an incredible score by Toto. Just incredible. I love that score. In fact, just recently, just over this last week, a couple of weekends ago, I found the uncut score to Dune at Half Price Books. Got it for $40. It was a bargain at any price. I was absolutely thrilled. So I love it. Bookstore. Yeah, and I wish that Alejandro Jodorowsky would have been able to make his version of Dune, because it seemed insane. If you guys haven't seen that documentary about Jodorowsky's Dune, check it out, man. It would have been nuts.
Oh, I've seen it. And all the Mobius artwork and stuff.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, I know. I studied that in college.
Mobius or the Jodorowsky's Dune documentary?
The documentary.
Oh, okay.
Because I was going to school for concept art, so we went through and we're like, this would have been so good.
You see, you did what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to school for art, but I couldn't pull the trigger. So I was like, I'm gonna keep drawing. I'm gonna do my own thing, but I'm gonna get a practical degree in quotation marks. But I took a couple college art classes, but man, I really wish I could have just done that. It would have been so much fun.
It's just a lot of drawing forever and ever, and you never stop. And even when you die, you have to keep drawing, or else they don't care.
Well, let me tell you something. I am about 6'6". I have sketchbooks stacked higher than me full of artwork and hard drives full of stuff. Believe me, I found a way to, be successful with drawing now, with the comics and stuff, which is awesome. But believe me, it's been a passion forever of mine.
Damn, are you saying that they keep drawing even after they die? Gary, we got to go raid Kirby's crypt.
I got to go right now.
We're going, man. Let's get some shovels. God damn.
I'll open the shop sooner.
I'll help you guys. Believe me. I'll drive or I want to see it.
Raiders of the Lost Art.
Ooh. Now, Gary, random question. So when Stan Lee died, did you hear about his, not his vault, but how he apparently had like a lot of unpublished art for like really famous comic book stories and stuff?
No, I did not hear this at all.
Yeah, it's more of like a rumor type of thing, but he has like a collection of stuff from Marvel that's never been publicly cataloged or shown. So, I mean, I wonder what was in that thing when he died. I mean, obviously his daughter took it. But my God, could you imagine like unpublished Kirby pages or old school stuff like that?
Geraldo Rivera can find the vault.
That's right.
His was
stuff that dreams are made of.
Yes. Oh, that would be brilliant. And then his daughter got it. Oh man. That's the sad part of that story.
She'll sell it for the right price.
Oh, dude. I was live when he died, and it went insane. Before everything got all big, or not big, but blew up on the channel. I would get like 70, 80 people on my live stream, and I looked down and I changed the title to Stan Lee died because somebody told me in the chat, and I looked up and there's 2,000 people. And I got nervous. It was insane. Yeah, and such a bummer. Yeah, I would love to see some of that art. The biggest, Jeff, just real quick, biggest find. I was at WonderCon 10 years ago, and another comic shop owner runs up to me and goes, Gary. And it was I forgot, it was a Filipino inker. I can't remember his name now, was selling Steve Ditko Micronauts art for $40. What? And he had 5 pages left. I bought them all. Yes, I have Steve Ditko art. I got it for $40 a page.
Wow.
That's the biggest find ever. So
nice.
Yeah. It is a big find. For those listening, Steve Ditko's the guy who really created Spider-Man with Stan Lee. So that's why it's important.
Yes. We love Steve.
All Out of Bubblegum says, greetings, Mr. Jeff, Mrs. Soka, and last but not certainly least, our Dark Lord Doomcock. All hail and bow down to the High Council. Sorry, Gary, these were before you came in, so I'm sure
all good.
They're not ignoring you. They're just like, oh, because that was from 922. So Brooklyn Supreme Dion Green says, they put me in the oven to bake. Me, a depraved and miserable cake. Feeling the heat, I started to bubble. Watching the others, I knew I was in trouble. I think I figured out who Brooklyn Supreme Dion Green was. And then he also goes on to say they opened the door and I started my life, frosting me with a silver knife, decorating me with candy jewels. The rest of my batch looked like fools. Lifting me up, she took off my wrapper, feeling the breeze. I wanted to slap her, opening her mouth with shiny teeth inside. This was the day this cupcake died. Oh, I think I know where that comes from, Wrath Dealing. Let's see. John Tennant also says, again, please check eGuard Watch's YouTube ad. Excellent response, great ad without hating in return. Reminds me of ads supporting firefighters and cops post 9/11. Please support. No affiliation to them, just want to support good people in culture war. So that is eGuard Watches. Let me take a screenshot of that because I will watch it and talk about it. One, I like watches, and two, I think there needs to be a certain level of respect. I really feel like there's a lot of attacking of just regular people through entertainment. It's like just let us live our lives and enjoy what we like. I mean, escapist entertainment is escapist entertainment for a reason.
Yep, I agree with that 100%. And them encroaching in our experience of that is part of why we're fighting back.
Becky Lynch's boyfriend says, retweet for yes, like for no, Jeff unsub. Well, Becky Lynch's boyfriend, I'm going to WrestleMania. I don't want to watch Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey in the main event. I want to watch I want to watch The Miz versus Daniel Bryan. So I'm a ticket holder. That's why I voiced my opinion the way I did. Hopefully you'll come back. Raincoat Liquor says, will you dance with me, Jeff? Sure, I will dance with you. Abraham Garcia says, has anyone seen the new PETA commercial?
No.
I don't watch TV, so I have not had a chance to see it. If anybody wants to tell me what it's about in the comment section, I'll check that out in a few minutes. Mild Peril, thank you very much. Great to see Nerdrotic and Anna on High Council. Have you guys seen the Gillette girls in skin-tight outfits with Gillette written over their butts? So woke.
Yeah, I saw that.
No, and I don't want to.
It was from an old race like years ago where they just had like girls in these like pleather spandex suits or whatever, and it just said Gillette, the logo on their butt. It was old school advertising, I guess. It really wasn't that big of a deal.
Well, they knew their target audience were men. Yeah. So, okay.
Let's see what else we got. Mega Jetty 1 says, hello, High Council. Hail Jeff, Doomcock, and Anna.
Hail.
Sentient Root Beer says, R.I.P. Capaldi. Doctor Who was a great doctor, Doctor Who was a great doctor, but killed by politics.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yep.
And I think Gary has a lot to say about that.
Whoa, so much to say about that. It's soul crushing.
Who is your favorite doctor, real quick?
Oh God.
Tennant.
Yeah. Well, Tennant and Baker. I can't answer that because new era, old era. So
yeah, that'd be exactly what I would say, Tennant and Baker. And
So
I just want to say, I've said it many times, but I think Capaldi could have been one of the great doctors of history. I mean, he really could have. He had the presence to be a very dark doctor, a very kind of almost like Sandman by Neil Gaiman. He had that ominous presence. If he hadn't been written by idiot to be a complete buffoon and a sidekick to Clara, he could have actually been a contender. He could have been a contender, but
could have
no,
been somebody.
screwed it up entirely.
Yep.
Hey folks, we got about 988 folks watching. Can we get 988 likes? Thank you very much for that.
Oh man.
What does Jeremy say? A simple request for a simple man or whatever, some shit like that. Send a like if you like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. There you go. That's an easy
Yeah,
one.
do it for Jeremy.
That. Yeah, he's busy working hard for all of our entertainment. So much love and respect. Let's see where we're at. Mr. V, thank you very much. Hey guys and gals, according to an interview in Empire magazine, they're indeed going full feminist with Captain Marvel. Yay.
Yay.
Yay, sis boom
Yay.
ba.
I'm just gonna hold my throw up real fast.
Well, I want to get into this for a quick second because today Black Panther was nominated for an Oscar, which I found to be it's undeserving in my opinion. Best Picture, hell no. Maybe a visual effect Oscar or I don't know, some kind of Oscar. Look at Spider-Man 2 won in 2004 or 5 technically for best visual effects. I could see that. But I watched Black Panther and I thought it wasn't even the best Marvel movie of the year. And I just feel like it's very agenda driven to give this movie an Oscar. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. I haven't watched the Oscars for like 10 years. I mean, I really don't watch award shows at all. It's generally political. It has nothing to do with the quality of the film. If anything, I'll maybe watch like the, People's Choice Awards. I mean, when the fans get a chance to speak, I mean, that means something. But right now it's all insider politics and, agitating for your team and, giving away goodies and access. It's just a complete corrupt bunch of crap. So I absolutely do not believe in it. What do you think, Gary?
I don't believe in it. I 100% agree with that. As agenda driven, it is a 7 out of 10 movie at best. It wasn't bad at all. The marketing around it was heavily politicized and genius on Disney's part. I have to say it's one of the best marketing jobs I've ever seen for a movie. And people took it hook, line, and sinker, and then they made it's movement marketing. And it worked. It worked like a charm. But it was a very average movie. And as time goes on, people see that, and this is, the Oscars feel like they need to make up for something, and whatever. I'm not going to watch either. They probably see this as a way. We've been asking for. I thought things were turning around when Lord of the Rings won. I thought, we finally recognize nerds. I know not everybody loves those movies. I do, but at least it was a win for nerds. But then, as time went on, I'm like, I don't need these assholes acceptance, excuse my language, but, and we don't. So like they can nominate whatever they want. I care not. They could not have I guess they're not having a host. Odin was talking about that, and I'm going to skip it. So completely.
Anna, any thoughts?
I think it's dumb. I mean, I did enjoy it more than most of the Marvel movies, and I'm more of a DC fan myself. So Marvel movies, I can watch once, I laugh, I'm done. It's good. This one, I just felt like there was something missing. And the biggest thing for me in movies is that a hero is only as strong as the villain. They killed off the only interesting villain in that movie very early on. I'm like, yes, Smeagol is in this. I'm super excited. We got to see him in Age of Ultron. He's scary. He's going to do something crazy. And he dies. And then Michael B. Jordan takes over. I'm like, I can't take this guy seriously. He's got such a nice smile. I get, he wants revenge, but I'm not afraid of him. And it did get a little preachy. I did like it. I thought it was okay. It didn't change me. When I look at The Dark Knight, and that's like the highest tier for superhero movies to me. I love The Dark Knight. That movie, wow, holy crap. How did that not get nominated for an Oscar? And just with the movies I was going through, because I was doing a stream earlier about the Oscars, and I was reading about the Black Klansman and then Green Book. Those ones stood out the most to me. And if you're going to try to put Black Panther along the lines of a guy trying to infiltrate the KKK, and another one about a guy who's a famous pianist and has to have a bodyguard to go play piano in the South, you want to compare those movies to Black Panther? Like, they're not even in the same ballpark.
Yeah, it feels like a hollow olive branch, an attempt. And then if it doesn't win, you're going to hear people say, oh, it was deserving. And then you're going to have other people try to elevate that as the best one just because it was nominated. So, Gary, I gave it the exact same score as you, 7 out of 10. Don't dislike it. I own it on Blu-ray. I got it on Black Friday because it was cheap. I actually own multiple Black Panther figures. I like the character, especially, the earlier stuff. When Jack Kirby was doing it in the 70s, I believe, right before or after he left for DC. I don't remember which one. Well, there's a series of issues where he drew those. Picked those up when they were a buck. I'm cool with Black Panther. I don't have a problem, but I don't like that this movie is being elevated. I mean, I got Infinity War on the background right now. To me, yes, it is superhero fun, but to me that was just so fucking cool. You got to see this big payoff. Black Panther was in it, and I thought Black Panther was best in Civil War. Had a great character arc.
Yep.
Now, the reason I bring that up, though, is to set up for this question, the super chat. Captain Marvel, is that the same play they're going to use for this movie in 2 months and a couple days? Are we going to see Captain Marvel go through the same motions as Black Panther, or are they going to change it up because of, one, the backlash against Brie Larson and her unlikability, and two, Aquaman? I think Aquaman plays a factor into Captain Marvel.
I agree with. I think they're going to play it hard. I think they're going to do what Black Panther just did. It's movement marketing. It's being released on National Women's Day. I just saw the action figures in a Walgreens last night. They want $20 for those things. And like, I know you like toys. They're Marvel Legends. They're the newer versions that suck, not the Toy Biz ones, but they look terrible. Wonder Woman worked because she was iconic. She was a true female character, a true female empowerment character that's been around for decades now. It was created by a guy who was in the S&M and all that stuff, but that doesn't matter right now. And it's still a good, great character that we haven't seen and we were hungry for, and they're trying to sell us on this is the first. This is another first. So it's the first Marvel female character to be released in February in 2019. That's about the only first it is. And her costume looks terrible. And again, it'll probably be the same situation, Jeff. It'll probably be, we're going to do a bunch of this movement marketing, and then the movie will probably not be that preachy. It'll probably be just an okay movie. It's got some Skrulls in it. That's what I'm going to see it for. Samuel Jackson and the Skrulls, but Brie Larson and her growly little, I'm going to end your war. I can't do it.
I'm going to be genuinely angry if she is the thing that beats Thanos. Like, if she's part of the team, fine, I get it, superpowers, this and that. But like, as a character, I don't think she'll be deserving. It'd be like if Black Panther killed Thanos in the first Infinity War movie. It's like, really? Him? I know he just had a movie 2 months ago, but like, this has been Iron Man's journey for a decade. I feel like, as the audience, these, the legacy characters deserve a little more respect. Captain Marvel can come into her own, hopefully never, or, eventually, but not in this coming movie. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah, she's going to get the kill shot on Thanos. Yeah, I've been saying it for 2 years since they announced the movie that they're going to do that. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm dead wrong on that one. And they should have introduced her. She's been an Avenger forever as binary and as Miss Marvel. That's what she's supposed to be. Yeah. And Captain Marvel's fine. And she was a good Avenger. She wasn't, there wasn't that much to the character. If they had introduced her earlier, which of course they're trying to blame everything on Perlmutter. It was his decision, but Kevin Feige's been in charge of the Marvel Universe for a while now, and they could have introduced her earlier. I know everybody loves him, and I love Kevin Feige too, but can't blame everything on Perlmutter. He's been gone for 10 years, maybe 8 years now. So yeah, I have a feeling she's going to be very instrumental in the if Thanos is even the big bad. I've heard that he might not be. So.
I just, I don't know, man. I'm hoping that. Well, the thing is, they're introducing it to the Kelly Sue DeConnick version, the 2012
yep.
Super feminist version. Like Miss Marvel, from up until that Secret Invasion, I was cool with. I read.
Yep.
She was in New Avengers and all that stuff. I read those books. I was always okay with the character. It's when Marvel kind of flipped the switch in the publication arm is when I was like, oh God, I hope they never introduce these characters. And now we've gone through all the good, a chunk of the good ones in the movies. And that's what's next, and that's what I fear. Oh, I love Marvel movies. They make me so happy. They're so fun. Can connect with people, talk about comics and all this shit. But no, we're getting ready to go down that path like Star Wars.
I think that's part of the reason there was a success to Aquaman. It just didn't preach. It was just a straight up superhero movie that didn't have any agendas in it. That's why I enjoyed it anyway. I really enjoyed Aquaman.
Same here.
And because it was just fun. It didn't, and maybe my standards have been lowered so much because feel like I've been beaten over the head with this stuff. And I hope I don't think Kevin Feige would be that dumb to go down that road. It might look like they are. I have to kind of wait and see it happen. And maybe I'm in denial. I'll freely admit that, but I hope not. We'll find out in a couple months. But yeah, she's tainted right now within the comic community. Anyway, she's a symbol for the whole SJW Marvel thing, whether Marvel likes it or not, or anybody likes it or not. That's what she is. She's the figurehead of it. So
and the thing is, she's not that huge of a selling character. Like,
no,
it's not like she sells put it like this. When I did my Indiegogo, I sold more copies of my book than the Captain Marvel trade paperback. I was like, I said it on air. I read the Comic-Con thing and I outsold it by 70 books or something, but I still beat a Captain Marvel book. And I use that as my little
That's brilliant.
When I meet people. It's like, yeah, I outsold Captain Marvel on my first comic book.
That's something you could tell your kids someday. That's a good story. I love it. And it shows you the state of things. And that's why I wasn't, I was supposed to open a store. It was supposed to open last month. I've been working on it for 5 years and the channel started doing better. And I decided not to because of the state of comics right now. It's just not worth it. Now, why would I want to go and start losing money immediately?
Exactly.
It's so it's kind of a bummer.
My comic book guys are always talking about like, I go home under the poverty level after I pay everything, here at the store. So it's a labor of love, man. If YouTube's great, if you can do it, and all of us have, do it. You got a lot of great people that listen to your content. It's a community thing. And the nice thing is, unlike a comic book or a product you make, you get instant feedback. You can see what people like, and you can meet these people. It's just like there's 1,000 people watching. I know a lot of these names that pop up in the chats and the messages and stuff, and you get you form a relationship. I know it's the same on your channel, and it's fun.
Oh, it's the best, absolutely the best.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Just thrilled to have my audience and the people that I've met, most incredible people on YouTube.
Anna, you've been kicking ass pretty recently, haven't you? You've been growing pretty well too.
Yeah, I mean, I never expected it. I just sit here in my studio and paint, and then I saw The Last Jedi. I was like, what the fuck, excuse my language, is this? And my entire life, everyone just knew, like, oh yeah, Anna likes Star Wars. And so when I was telling everyone, don't watch this movie, it's horrible, they're like, what do you mean? And then people liked my videos, and I'm a very socially awkward person. So when my family saw how my YouTube channel has grown, they're like, you don't talk, you sit there in the corner and draw, but you can sit there in front of a computer and talk all day. And I was like, yeah, it's because it's about Star Wars and people that understand me.
That's brilliant.
So I hope that was your good enough answer for you, Mr. V. Mareth Dealine says there was an old man with a beard who said it was just as I feared. 2 owls and a hen, 4 larks and a wren have all but their nests in my beard. It sounds like that episode of Family Guy where Peter grows the beard and he gets the family of rare birds or whatever. Chris is like, can I touch your beard, Dad? He's like, if you do your homework. Mr. Millennium says, been stuck inside the last couple of days because of the weather, and this is helping with my cabin fever. Thanks for keeping me company, guys.
You're welcome.
You are welcome, sir.
You are so welcome.
Mr. Millennium, I'm in the same boat as you. I live in Ohio. It snowed, and it snowed for a couple days. Then the temperature dropped to -1. Everything froze over. It snowed again. It's been shit. So I'm with you. Thankfully, I got stuff to do in the house. TLJ Screwjob says, what Nerdrotic is saying is similar to Star Wars theory, or to a Star Wars theory I have, excuse me. What if Kathleen Kennedy gave Rian Johnson the trilogy because he agreed to emasculate Luke to prop up Rey?
I kind of think that's what happened.
Yeah.
He was the right. He just looks like a yes man. He just looks like the kind of guy who you would work with and just would kiss the boss's ass. And especially when I heard, didn't they wrote them independently of each other? Didn't I hear that The Last Jedi was written prior to The Force Awakens? Because The Force Awakens was never really written. They wrote it as they went.
It shows.
Yeah, and sometimes that works. Iron Man, it worked,
yep.
But it did not work for The Force Awakens. That's another reason why I came here too, because after I saw your comic video, you were one of the only people who didn't like that movie openly that I saw. I wasn't looking that hard, but you guys popped up in my feed, and I'm like, I like these guys. They didn't like Force Awakens, and I hated that movie. So.
And for me, it was I know a lot of people have come around oh, I used to like it, then I watched it and I realized, dude, for me, have you ever heard of a channel called Retro Blasting?
No, I have not.
Check him out. It's a dude named Michael. I think you'd love his stuff. He talks about old toys mostly, but he's a lot like us in his attention to detail. He knows his shit. We'll put it like that. He knows his shit. He's a good dude. He's been on the channel a couple times.
Yeah, you've done a show with him. Okay, I've seen him. Yes.
Yeah, he and I had the same reaction when that music hit for The Force Awakens. It just was missing something, and then I knew that sounds like a dumb way to give this example to people, but seriously, guys, when you hear the Star Wars theme, it hits boop and it starts. That one just said boof, and it was just it was going through the motions. That's what that whole movie was to me, going through the motions. And they duped a lot of people. We talked to Doug TeNapel the other night on a live stream, and he didn't care. He didn't want prequel Star Wars. He wanted old stuff. He just took whatever they gave him. Me, I want old Star Wars. I'm 30, so I'm a lot younger than your average Star Wars fan, according to an article I found, which we'll talk about on Thursday. But my point is, I grew up with the old stuff, and I like the old stuff. But when I got more of it, it just wasn't there anymore. The magic was gone, and my God, fuck that movie. I know. And by the way, guys, you keep saying, "Oh, sorry about my language." The channel's called World Class Bullshitters. Say what you want.
I got to remember that. Yeah. Good point.
That's right.
We're like Switzerland. Just have some fun.
Will do. Thanks.
Basil says,
Okay.
I went to see exactly. Thank you. I love when people get comfortable, because a lot of people come on and like, oh man, I love your channel. I'm so nervous. Like we had our friend Proper Jeremy on. I'm like, don't be nervous, man. You're cool. And he had a good time, but you can tell when some people are a little, nervous to be on their first time. I'm like, it's a fun place.
Me and Proper Jeremy got to work something out about the Axl Rose situation. So
what's the Axl Rose situation?
I talk shit about Axl Rose because I love Guns N' Roses, but his voice is shot, or at least it was shot when I listened to something on Sirius Satellite. I was about to like plop down like $400 for tickets. And then I heard his voice. I'm like, shit, I wouldn't pay $10 for that.
I saw him live 2 years ago. He did phenomenally.
That's good. I saw him in '87 when he opened up for Aerosmith with the original band, and they were fantastic. And yeah, maybe his voice sounds better. At the time I was listening, maybe that concert was bad, but I'm like, is that what he sounds like right now? Oh my God. And maybe it was because he was doing the AC/DC thing. I'm not sure, because he sounded okay with the AC/DC when he was sitting down and with his broken leg or something like that. And but yeah. So Proper Jeremy just wouldn't let it go. I'm like, dude, it was just one thing. You say one thing on a live stream, people just never forget it.
Oh, believe me, I know. With Good Morning Pop Culture, when you have to do shit 5 days a week for like 3 hours, you say some stuff and people just, they keep it going. But hey, whatever. Comes with the territory, man.
Yep, it does.
Basil says, I went to see Glass, and wow, what a garbage movie. Shyamalan must have written that ending on some hard ganja.
Well,
that's terrible. That's a real disgrace, because he had an opportunity and he keeps blowing it, and I think that's just a goddamn shame. Lady and gentlemen, I have had a long day. I am going to bow out, but it has been a pleasure as always. Jeff, Nerdrotic, Anna, and everyone in the chat. Thank you guys. Thanks for the
Hail
invite.
Doomcock.
Hail Doomcock.
All right, you guys have fun.
Be talking to you soon, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
I'm disappointed to hear that, Basil, because I was a big proponent for Glass. I loved Split and Unbreakable, so I was ready for this to be awesome. And I'm still going to go see it to give it a shot, but I haven't really heard a lot of positive things, so that's disappointing.
That's a bummer.
I hate M. Night Shyamalan with a burning passion because of what he did to Avatar, so I will not see any of his movies.
That is pretty unforgivable.
I've never seen it because I've never watched the cartoon.
Oh, God.
What?
What?
Go watch Avatar: The Last Airbender.
You will love it.
You will. It's amazing.
I promise you.
I'm not opposed to it. I think it came out when I was in high school, and I just, I was one of those kids that got a job early on so I could buy all the shit I wanted to. So I didn't watch a lot of stuff in high school, so I must have really missed out on it. But yeah,
you will love it.
When
if
you
it's
get
on
a chance,
Hulu, I'll watch it.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
It is on Amazon Prime.
I have that, so I will give that a shot.
There you go. Yeah, Anna, I was working at Technicolor at the time when the Blu-ray for that came out, and I had to watch the first. It's part of my job to watch the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes, like about 100 times. Oh my God, I hate that movie so much.
Yeah, I could not do it. I remember there was this viral video that went around, and it's like the only way to watch M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender, and somebody puts their DVD in, then takes it out, runs outside, and throws it on a barbecue. Like, yep.
That is perfect.
Now I'm going to curiously watch the movie just to,
Oh, it's bad.
No. Watch the show and then watch the movie. You'll be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, just watch the first couple. Like, don't feel like you need to take in the whole season. Just watch the first couple. You'll get the feel of it, and you'll probably get hooked after that. So.
All right, well, if my channel goes down because I'm busy watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, you guys know who to blame. Nerdrotic.
I will take the
then
blame.
you'll have some good Avatar content when you're done.
That's true.
You can always make a video.
I can. I would. Let's see. Mareth Dialine says there was an old man in a boat who said, I'm afloat. I'm afloat. When they said, no, you ain't, he was ready to faint. That unhappy old man in a boat. Mega Jetty 1 says, when I earn a place on the High Council, I'd love to talk to y'all. All right, well, we're always I'm always one to talk to people. I have fan hangouts at the end of each month, so over on our Patreon thing, just join that. We have one next Wednesday on the 30th, so if you want to get involved with that, it's not too late. Marethuline also says there was an old person of M's who casually fell in the Thames. And when he was found, they said he was drowned, that unlucky old person of M's. That's morbid, dude. That's just like, oh, hey, an old guy died in a river.
In a van down by the river.
Smoking doobies. God, I love Matt Foley so much.
Yes.
Gojirify says, good to see Nerdrotic. Love your channel.
Hey, thanks. Love you too.
Folks, give Nerdrotic and That Star Wars Girl a subscribe. They're great content creators. I'm subscribed to both of those channels, as is Doomcock. Don't forget about Doomcock as well. All part of the Fandom Menace, all part of YouTube, all creating great stuff. Entertainment for you guys, because mainstream stuff is garbage. So, get it on YouTube from us.
Yeah, we're all in this together. Start a channel.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It really is.
It is. You get to talk about the things you love.
Yeah, the fact that people come out in droves to listen to me talk about Star Wars makes me so happy. Like, I can talk about this on the High Council, but I had to, sometimes you need like a refresher why you do certain things. So I popped in the Battle of Yavin today, and I was like, yep, this is why I love Star Wars, because it makes me feel something. New stuff, not so much. Nothing positive, at least.
No.
Yeah.
No, I have to do that constantly with after I saw The Last Jedi, I watched Empire just to feel better, and it worked a little bit. And with Doctor Who, I had to dip into some Tenet episodes just to cleanse the palate. Every time I watch Star Trek Discovery, I'll pop on the Orville just to feel better, or an old Star Trek. Yeah, it's bad right now. I mean, there's still good shows out there and good movies, but not the stuff we loved all our lives, unfortunately. And now I don't want them to touch anything. I hear reboot, and I'm like, no. Even with the Ghostbusters 3 thing, I want to get excited about that. Everything sounds great on paper, but I'm just going to wait until we see. We don't know if Bill Murray's on board, and I just don't know. It feels like a win, though. I loved your video on it. That was so spot on. Patient Zero.
Thank you. I got a part 2 that'll probably be out, like I said, on Saturday, because I needed a little Ghostbusters break. Because to be honest, working on that one pissed me off, because I remember living through that, and it was just, I guess because it was new, the whole SJW. Like, to me, I never really used the phrase or anything like that, but that was the first time it kind of hit me, and I was like, what the fuck is happening to movies? And by the time we got to The Last Jedi, I was a little more used to it. But realistically, there's a reason why people use Ghostbusters as the example for gender politics driven entertainment advertising, because it really was the one that just shit the bed. And I'm so thankful that millions of people didn't go see it. It made whatever it made, and it wasn't a success, and it'll never get another movie, thankfully. So I wish Hollywood would take note. It's like, guys, you can sit on your ivory throne and tell people, you need to watch this, and this is a success, and this is that. Well, when people don't go see it, you guys change your tune real quick.
Real quick. And it's not like they poked the bear with this one. They went out of their way. That's why, you pointed out it was Patient Zero. Is they attacked the fandom. They went with 4 women when they could have done 2 women, and you could have had a woman leading the Ghostbusters. Nobody would have had a problem with that, with 2 guys there, and just made a normal movie. Or 3 girls and 1 guy, or 3 guys and 1 girl. It doesn't matter. Show men and women working together and having, just give us an entertaining movie. And honestly, I haven't seen the whole thing all the way through. I cannot get through it. So they gave it to me for free on Vudu. I just popped up my Vudu one day, and that's where I get my digital Blu-ray stuff. And it's there. It was just sitting there. I'm like, why is this here? I don't remember getting it. So yeah, I don't know if anybody else, if anybody uses Vudu at all.
I do.
Yeah. They popped it in for free. A couple other movies too, like Groundhog Day. Was it Groundhog Day? Something like that. Yeah.
That's a great movie.
I love that movie so much. So I tried to watch it, and I thought I'll do a video on it, and I couldn't even get through it. So it was,
I don't know. I thought it was just they were all friends from SNL, so they all were like, "Oh, let's do Ghostbusters together." I didn't go to the theater to see it. I remember it being on in the background and listening to it, and just being like, "What? That's the bad guy? That's the plot?" No desire to see it. And then all the funny parts that were supposed to be funny that they showed in the trailer, when it happened, I was like, "This isn't even funny."
The
You're
wonton
right.
joke wasn't even a good joke.
No, I don't remember even chuckling for that 20 minutes.
And then how they brought in Thor. I can't think of his name.
Oh, Chris Hemsworth?
Chris Hemsworth. Thank you. There's so many Chris's. When they brought in Chris Hemsworth and he was just, the ditzy secretary, I was like, okay, now this is just trying too hard. I thought like Chris Hemsworth was going to be there to help them, be, I guess, in a way, that smart character that, can figure things out at the end, like the techie character that's really big in movies and TV shows right now. But then he was just an idiot. I was like, what's the point of having him here? This is stupid. But
yeah, Janine was treated with respect.
Yeah.
Sorry about the Bug Eyes comment. Yeah, even Venkman took it back right away. So
yeah, because she stared him down. Yeah. Oh God,
Ghostbusters. What do you want?
Annie Potts rules.
Yeah, the thing is, even the littlest things about that. I mean, to me, Ghostbusters is in a very special category. You can put it up with like a Star Wars. Certain things, like it's just like the whole movie works. Even every little bit works, and I don't know if you can manufacture that, if you're lucky, if it's just the perfect storm, but you can't really replicate those things, and I don't think you should try. I think you can market the shit out of it. I mean, you collect stuff. They make Ghostbusters toys to this day, and if they weren't stupidly priced, I'd buy some of them. But I mean, if I owned old property, that's what I would do. Is I'd like Back to the Future. I think is handled perfectly. They mine it for merchandise. They make high end. They make low end. They will do fan premieres and stuff like that. But they don't make more movies, and they don't shit on people, and they don't go, well, by today's standards, Back to the Future has a rape scene in it and blah, blah, blah. They don't go that route. They just say, this is what the movie is, and they respect the fans. I wish we got more of that.
I certainly do. When Ghostbusters came out, I was 14, and it was the perfect mix of genre. It was lightning in a bottle, and I don't know if they could ever get that again. It's a movie that beat an Indiana Jones film as far as the box office for the year, which was incredible. And it was perfect parts comedy, adventure, a little bit, a little scary, not much, but and it took itself seriously, even though we had a giant marshmallow man at the end and a good song that people were playing constantly for the entire year. And that was a great year, by the way, 84. Sorry, I was 14. Life was good. But I watched it 10 times in the theater. And it just, it's one of those special movies. So absolutely, it felt like a Star Wars. It did. And everybody loved Bill Murray, and Bill Murray was just on top of his game. And he was, Bill Murray's character was your typical 80s guy, a little cocky, kind of, it's hard to explain, but that was kind of the hot character at that time. Bill Murray played it perfectly. So it was a good time. Yeah. I love that movie so much. So I want him to get it right. I really do. I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Well, with this whole like 80s nostalgia wave that we're going through, which I like because I like stuff from the 80s, but I do think we're coming to the end of it. Because I don't know if you guys felt this way, but once I Love the 80s came out in like the year 2000 something, I feel like basically through the 90s you had your own cultural identity. Then you hit the 2000s and they're starting to look back on the 80s again, and it's like, okay, cool, I like this shit, I like the music and the shows, and we've been doing it for about 20 years almost, and it's almost like I feel like it's coming to its end of its run. I don't want it to, but
it is. It's kind of broke the 20-year rule with, but it's part of the 20. This is very new because pop culture is still very new. Started in the 60s probably, and in the 80s the 60s were huge. So when I was a teenager, everybody was into the 60s like everybody's into the 80s now, and that lasted 15, 20 years. Not it feels like the 80s has lasted longer, but yeah, we're about to get into 90s nostalgia, and it's when these people who grow up, when they were teenagers and 20-year-olds, when they get income, they start getting nostalgic. And listen, I studied this stuff. It made me a lot of money at the comic shop. So, and the same thing applies. Like Bronze Age comics were in quarter bins until the people who grew up reading Bronze Age comics got of age to have money, and then all of a sudden they started, getting worth money. And the same thing happens. It just goes in cycles. It's kind of interesting, but it might be boring people in the chat. Sorry.
Believe me, that's the kind of shit you and I have to talk about off air, or just record it for Skype conversation and do long form one of these days, because that's the type of shit I care about. Me, I love pop culture.
Yes, in all of its forms.
Yeah, well, I mean, even now, when I go to Disneyland, they sell notebooks that are $20 and they look like VHSs. It's like, really?
I'm still amazed that it's $20 for a notebook.
It's
yeah, what's
Disney.
on
What do
it?
you expect?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. But
I mean,
I hate
I got one for 50 cents the other day.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Walgreens, you can get them for 50 cents. I bite every time when they have the Blu-rays that are like the VHS ones, like Stranger Things season 1 did that.
I got that.
Yeah, I'm like looking at it right now. And Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy TV series did that. Bought them both just immediately.
One of our listeners sent me Beverly Hills Cop on a on Blu-ray in a VHS style packaging, and I was like freaked out because that's one of my favorite movies. Like I love Ghostbusters, but Beverly Hills Cop makes my top 4 just because it's something I saw a bunch as a kid, and I like it. The older I get, I still like it the same. So to me, that's like an indicator. Well, this is a movie for you. Much like Back to the Future, I loved it as a kid, love it as an adult. Nothing's ever changed.
Love him. Love Eddie Murphy. Back to 48 Hours. I prefer 48 Hours a little bit. I love Beverly Hills Cop too, and the second one too.
I'll admit though I'm a little biased because of the music of Beverly Hills Cop. When Doomcock said he bought the extended soundtrack for Dune, I bought the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack the minute I found out about it. I was in bed. I jumped out of bed to buy it, and I probably listened to it almost daily. So
that's brilliant.
to say I like it is an understatement, but since it's 35 years old, we're going to talk about it on the channel the closer we get to its anniversary, which is December. So you got a while to wait, folks. I'm sorry.
You're definitely a nerd.
Let's see. Mighty Nick says, I am pissed Black Panther got a Best Picture nomination before Dark Knight and Logan.
I agree.
Yeah.
Today.
I thought Patrick Stewart was a shoo-in for Best Supporting Actor. I just,
no kidding.
God, he was so good in Logan. When Dark Knight didn't win, that's when I bowed out of the Oscars. But like my anger, if I had a YouTube channel when I was 8, I would have done videos every day on Star Wars not winning Best Picture over Annie Hall.
That movie's horrible.
It's freaking terrible. And then Raiders of the Lost Ark losing to Chariots of Fire. I mean, I could go way back. E.T. the Extraterrestrial beat Blade Runner for special effects.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And E.T. special effects, I'm sorry, sucked compared to Blade Runner stand up today. Yeah. So yeah, it's, my anger with them goes way, way back.
The Star Wars one bothers me too, because really, I mean, I know it sounds kind of weird, but this is the High Council. People already bought into the Star Wars thing. I still stand by it's the most important movie ever made. Maybe not the best to some people, but for me, it changed more than just making movies. I mean, yeah, it did the effects and stuff like that, but it changed the way movies are marketed and merchandising and all that stuff. It created this whole industry that existed sort of with like James Bond or Planet of the Apes, but like Star Wars did so much, and I just don't want. That's another reason why we make the videos and stuff, because I don't want it to be remembered as like the Disney crap. There was a point in time where it was the Cadillac of franchises, and I would love for it to get back to that, but I honestly don't think it ever will, because people that are in charge won't allow it. I think they get off on pissing the fans off.
I think this is just a phase. It will last for maybe the next 10 years, and then because it's not making money, it's going to die off, and then the people that actually cared about it will probably get it back eventually. It's just not going to be for a while.
You think 10 years this will last? Anna, I'm standing by this. If episode 9 doesn't deliver, that shit's going to change by 2020. They're going to be like, oh God, this trilogy's
maybe
done.
I should rephrase it. I think this whole SJW insane phase, I think it's just going through that right now. Maybe, Star Wars, if they don't fix something soon, they're not going to make money. They're not going to be able to keep doing this, because at the end of the day, this is a business. People are going to get fired. Things will change, probably not fast. It'll probably be slow. And we're going to notice it because all of us are on top of that. But I just think the general people aren't going to notice it. But this whole SJW thing, them trying to push feminism but in the complete wrong way, because it's basically the opposite of what original feminism is supposed to be. I just think it's all starting, and it will go away eventually, because those people, their lives are going to change. They're not going to care anymore. People are having fun right now because they can hide behind a computer screen and go type up whatever they want and post it online and make noise. But I don't know. I just feel it's going to be a phase.
I hope it is. Believe me, I love having the channel and doing what I do, but at the same time, I would love good movies to be back. I mean, maybe you brought up Aquaman earlier, Gary. That's why I found it so refreshing, because it was free, of all that too.
Yeah. And believe me, it's great having subs, but I would much rather be talking about plot points of Star Trek or plot points of Star Wars. Like, who's Snoke? I wanted a Snoke theory that didn't suck. He was like the only thing I was slightly interested in. And that's what I want to be talking about. I want to be talking about The Expanse and more people watching The Expanse because it's a great show. Or the counterpart. That's one I'm watching right now that nobody's watching. That's like, people will find it in like 5 years ago. Yeah, that really was good. I'm gonna go. Yeah.
Do either of you watch The Man in the High Castle?
Yep.
I love that show. You need to watch it. It's really good.
Brilliant show.
Yeah. Are you a history buff at all?
I mean, I respect it. I didn't dislike it in school. It's just I don't really, do much with it anymore.
I love history. I do ancient history mostly, but it's an alternate take. You probably know what it's about, Jeff. It's about like what if the Nazis in Japan, but the Axis powers won, and they split up America. Yeah, and West Coast is Japan, and the East, and there's a demilitarized zone down the middle in the Rockies, and then the Nazis have the East Coast. And it's by Philip K. Dick. It's a short story by Philip K. Dick that they turned into a series that's really, really good.
It is, and also it's partially sci-fi because there's parallel universes in it.
Yes.
But all the actors are good. The writing is good.
What is that on? Is that a streaming show or is it on cable?
Prime.
Oh, it's on Prime. Okay. Well, shit. I'm going to have to check that out now too. So Avatar: The Last Airbender and Man in the High Castle. Why do I keep saying High Council? Because we're the High Council. Shit. I'll check those out. I do have time next weekend for a little bit, so I'll check it out.
I always say Man in the White Castle. Accidentally in my recaps.
You like White Castle sometimes. Somebody I know has never been to a White Castle, and I'm just
I've never been to a White Castle.
Well, I guess because you live out west, they're everywhere by me here in Ohio. I got like 3 of them within,
I've never even seen one.
Oh, you're on the West Coast as well. There's one in Vegas. There's one in Vegas. So.
Well, I've been to Vegas. I've never seen it.
Oh God, where is it near? It is across from Excalibur. Yeah, buried in like a little shopping center, but it's there.
Oh yeah.
Well, you guys have In-N-Out burgers, so I'm jealous.
Yes, In-N-Out is disgusting, though.
I love that place. Anyway, we'll talk about fast food on another stream. Brett Theoline says there was an old man in a tree whose whiskers were lovely to see, but the birds of the air plucked them perfectly bare to make themselves a nest on that tree. I feel like there's a theme tonight. Old dead men with body hair.
Yeah. Gillette? Is it related to Gillette? Yes.
Gojirify says, where's EVS and Jeremy? They both had stuff that kept them away from being able to make the High Council tonight, guys. So thankfully we had Doomcock, Anna, and now Nerdrotic to help fill out this really great show. In my opinion, this is an awesome show. I'm having a great time.
I am as well. Thanks. And it's nice to talk to Anna finally.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's nice to talk to you as well. I like your little icon.
Oh, thanks.
I do too.
The glasses on my face.
It's simple, yet gets the point across. I like it. It brings me back to like my design class.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
William Jenkins says, just got here from Odin's stream. What happened to the good entertainment? I heard that Battlestar and Stargate are getting remakes. I think it's bad. What do you guys think? Hashtag Tom Jane is my Punisher.
I was in Odin's chat and Odin's movie blog. Subscribe. Good dude. Nice beard. We got us bearded guys got to stick together. So Battlestar Galactica, don't touch it. I've read the article on the remake and it sounds like everything they've done before. They're gonna go back to the Glenn Larson stuff and reimagine it to and they use the word modernize. Ugh. So when you hear that, that's the key word for we're going to get more of the same. So and in there I just recommended that there should be a 10-year ban on any reboot. I would throw in prequels too. I just no reboots or prequels. Let's get some original stories. Please, there's plenty of great books out there they can adapt. I have a question for you. What about Spider-Man? That's my favorite character. I'm not happy with the current timeline. I don't want to reboot, but if they would, I'd be just as willing to watch that as I would Spider-Man Far From Home because it sucks watching this is for anybody, and it's not just geek culture. It sucks watching your favorite thing constantly ruined.
And for me, I haven't seen a good Spider-Man movie in half of my life. So that would be the only thing I'd be okay with a reboot of, because I hate the current thing. But what about something bad? Would you just rather work through something bad, or would you rather see it rebooted, or just not on principle?
Oh boy, with Spider-Man, that's different. Up until very recent, since my entire life, that was my favorite comic book character. I have a complete run of everything Spider-Man up to Amazing Spider-Man 600, and I'm talking all the other titles and foreign reprints and everything. And Dan Slott's era and what Marvel did. Marvel screwed up Spider-Man before any movie company screwed him up, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a fan of the current MCU Spider-Man. I liked him in Civil War, and I thought it was okay in Infinity War. I didn't like Homecoming. I know that's unpopular, but
dude, you fit on this channel. That's our least favorite Marvel flick on the end of the MCU. Yep. Officially on this channel, we rated we ranked all the films, and that's what came in last place.
That is my least favorite, right there with Wasp and Ant-Man. And I even like the Hulk better than that, and Thor: Dark World. But and it's not that he's bad. Tom Holland's not bad. It's the way he's directed, and I just want to see an established Spider-Man, not Spider-Boy, because I mean, as you know, he was only young for a very short period of time in his main comic book, not Ultimate Spider-Man.
4%. I did the math on an old video. 4% of his run on Amazing Spider-Man up until the date I recorded that, he was in high school. He graduated in issue like 28, I think.
Yeah. So, and being mentored by Tony Stark is, oh God, no. Even my son, Nerdrotic Jr., got triggered by that, which was funny. He's like, no, inside the movie. It was pretty good. No, I don't like it. I want to see. I'm tired of little boy superheroes with our main. God, they're going to do this with Batman too. What Matt Reeves was talking about, they're going to get some 28-year-old guy to play Batman. But back to Spider-Man, yeah. If they rebooted him now and made him older and a little more established, and I don't know, maybe brought in a real. When you saw the Far From Home trailer, what did you think when you heard MJ?
Disappointed, dude. I put it like this. I like Tom Holland as he's okay as Spider-Man. I hate his world around him. I would actually be okay if you took him and just instantly transported him to college and got rid of all those side characters. I don't dislike him. I dislike the suit. I have other problems. I don't like the Iron Man thing. I don't like the onboard AI. I feel like that takes away him. He's supposed to be smart on his own. You know the story. I don't need to tell you. But they just fundamentally they destroyed him. And I think this is my problem with the opposite side of geek culture, even for stuff I like. People get invested in the little things like the Spider-Man jokes or the mechanical web shooters, and they overlook everything else. Like with Andrew Garfield, people are like, well, he made jokes and he has real web shooters. The movie still sucked. His costume was garbage in that first movie. He wasn't Peter Parker. Like where is the disconnect? You guys, they fixate on one thing. Like when people say, oh, I hate the Tobey Maguire ones because he doesn't have, mechanical web shooters. It's like, that's a really dumb thing to, hate the whole movie over. There are other things you can hate, but I mean, at least have, a better feel for the character and know why you're critiquing something. Come from a place of understanding is what I'm trying to get at.
Yep.
I like that scene in the Tobey Maguire one where he's like realizing his powers and he learns how to climb the walls. I remember being a kid and not knowing very much about him and being like, wow, this is cool. But this Tom Holland one, MJ sucks. The characters, I agree with how Tom Holland isn't bad. It's the characters around him that are bad. I did like Michael Keaton's performance, though. I was not expecting that.
Yep.
That was really good. He was the best part of that movie.
Yes, he
Aside
was.
from that, I thought it was really long and just dragged out. I am looking forward to seeing Jake Gyllenhaal in this new movie. I think that's the only thing I'm looking forward to. But I agree with everything else you guys said.
It'll be nice to see Jake Gyllenhaal in a Spider-Man flick because he was almost going to be Spider-Man, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll get to see. It'd be so funny though is if people got all hyped up for Mysterio in the movie and then he sucked. Like, oh, that was kind of a letdown. I honestly think that movie is going to let people down. That's not what I look at. I can remove myself from trying to project things, but I think post Endgame, the stakes are so high. Like that's why I don't think I like Ant-Man and the Wasp that much. Had that movie come out at the end of 2017 or had that movie come out before Infinity War, I think I would be more accepting of it. But I mean, after we see everything, I'm talking every major character come out of the woodwork to kick ass and interact and do all this stuff. Some of the Guardians on Earth, this, that. I mean, when you go back to such a small little thing, like Spider-Man's going to follow up that movie where, Captain America's probably going to die and we're probably going to see the last of Iron Man for a while. I don't think it's going to be big enough to capture people's attention. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. That's exactly what's happening to Netflix right now. They built this big thing up. They were going to have a shared universe. They were going to be part of the MCU, and they had the Defenders thing. Then the Defenders thing happened, and then all the season 3s of all these shows got smaller. Even Daredevil season 3, which was very good, was smaller. It felt smaller, compact. He didn't wear his freaking costume, except for the first episode. And
what?
Yeah.
He Are you kidding me? You spend money on a Daredevil costume and you don't use it?
And I love that costume. I thought that looked cool.
He had every opportunity to put it back on in episode 6, right? 6 or 7, something like that. And he didn't. And that's when he should have put it on. And that's why we watch these things, to see costume men and women beating the crap out of each other. So that's why I watch it.
So was he not fighting in all of season 3 to where he didn't need his costume?
Oh, he was fighting.
Yeah.
But he actively chose against being Daredevil. So did you watch season 1 at all?
I did.
You remember the black suit he wore?
Mm-hmm.
He wore that the whole season.
But then the nurse girl I'm blanking on her name right now. What is it?
Oh, Claire?
Yes, Claire. She was giving him heck because he kept getting shot and he needed his costume. And so finally at the end, he blackmails that guy to give him a costume and then he doesn't use it.
Mm-hmm.
That's stupid.
He wears it all of season. Well, the thing is, somebody else is wearing a copycat suit, Bullseye. So you see somebody in the suit, but it's not the real Daredevil. I liked it. I liked season 3 of Daredevil. I found it interesting. But I actually really liked it, especially the end when he beats the shit out of the Kingpin. He screams at him. That was my favorite part of all the Marvel shows on Netflix. But I'm with you, man, on the costume things. I think that's why the MCU has, really opened a lot of people's minds to accept like an Aquaman movie or stuff. Like we're seeing the Vision on film. We're seeing these crazy characters that would never work. Like that's one thing I wish people would take into account when they talk about the early X-Men films or Spider-Man and 1, 2, and 3. Like it was a different era. Everyone was clad in black leather or black rubber post Batman in '89. Everything, there was no color. Then you had Spider-Man come out and he had a full colored suit. And then you had Fantastic Four, which is not a good movie, but they at least tried to do a blue suit. And we finally get to Iron Man and it's, bright and bold. And that's where we are now. At least, I love seeing the representation of these characters in the movies because it's cool to me.
That's why they worked. Because they're iconic and that is their brand. And Anna even understands, with branding, you have to look like your brand. Like even, Batman's been questionable. He's never had a really accurate costume, maybe in Justice League to what he is in the comic books, but it's still, you saw the bat symbol. With Marvel movies, the reason Iron Man worked is he looked like Iron Man. I mean, that was it. I mean, it was a very simple movie. It was great, but he looked like Iron Man. Thor looked like Thor. Hulk looked like Hulk. There was no weird interpretation of it. That's what moved superhero movies to that next level, because it was about to die before the MCU happened. Marvel bet everything on those first 2 movies. I remember reading an article like you can own a piece of Marvel because if this fails, I forgot what they had some company insure. I forgot who it was now. Some stock company insure the first 2 movies. And if either of them had been failures, that would have the rights to Marvel would have reverted back to whatever that stock company was, and you could have owned a piece of Marvel or a character. To that particular character, they sold off the characters. And did you know, Jeff, that part of the reason Sony's so intertwined with Spider-Man is they own a piece of the character, not just the rights to do the movie. They own a piece of Spider-Man.
Oh, I was not aware of that.
Yes, I don't know how much, but they own enough to where it's almost impossible for Marvel to fully get him back unless they just give or buy Sony or give them a boatload of money. But yeah, that's part of the problem with that. And I think the same thing with Hulk. I think Universal still owns the rights to Hulk. They're still getting through that mess.
Yeah, I remember when I was in college, I was working for like the Disney store in San Francisco, and we got a bunch of the Spider-Man product because they had just, gotten the okay that they can sell Spider-Man stuff, and they had to send in all this new repackaging stuff because you weren't allowed to have Spider-Man, on the price tag. It had to be Disney. So we had to go in and spend 4 hours slapping on new price tags to all the toys to make sure you couldn't see any of the Spider-Man marketing.
That is crazy. You went to school in San Francisco? Did you go to school in San Francisco?
Yeah, I went to Academy of Art in San Francisco.
Academy of Art. They practically own. That's where I live. That's where I'm talking from. Yeah, San Francisco. So,
cool.
Yeah, I know the
I
Academy of
right
Art.
off of Powell Street.
Oh.
And then I lived in the Mission for a few years.
I live in the Outer Mission. There we go.
Wow.
Small world.
I know. Small things that you learn.
Yes. It's a cool city. I mean, if you ignore the politics and don't listen to anybody and keep your head down and avoid the human poop on the street, it's fine.
Dude, I am so mad that right after I move out of the city, they get new BART trains. I'm like, really? After I leave?
Yeah. That's a whole funny story about, we're nerds. But they got those BART trains and they didn't fit the track, so they had to redo the whole track. It was funny. And I paid for it. It was nice. It's great. Yeah.
Bureaucracy. Let's see. Basil says, Doom masculine grouse. Thank you very much. I wish he was still here.
I miss DoomCon.
Jordan Walcrez says, Gary, love your channel. So great to see you on the show. I guess this is one of those times a day you're okay talking a little politics?
Briefly, yes. Usually I don't talk about it on my channel. I try to stay. It's almost impossible these days because the only politics I'll talk about on my channel is get politics the fuck out of my entertainment, please. And so I can enjoy it. Not all of it, but just a reasonable amount. Is it too much to ask? But just saying something like that makes me part of the vast right-wing conspiracy to bring down Doctor Who, because we all know those alt-right Doctor Who fans are really hardcore.
Yeah, dude, I used to be like, well, I still am like you in terms of the politics. I don't really make politically driven videos. I mean, I can comment on a joke like on our one Tales from the P.O. Box, and here's me talking about the Gillette situation, and I threw it in my garbage can. Like, that's it. That was the whole thing. I wasn't, gonna get into a spiel. But yeah, but it is intertwined, especially with geek culture, like we talked about, earlier in the show about, how it's infecting and trying to change people's minds. So I do like to keep it, fairly center, because I don't want to piss off a portion of the audience.
Exactly. We have both all makes and sizes in your chat, in my chat, in Anna's chat, and we just want to talk about Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who. That's it. And as far as it forces you to talk about politics in a way that I don't want to. I honestly don't care. I just, like I said before, I turned off the news years ago, and I don't care. It's nothing I have power. I vote in my local elections. That's it. I don't care about anything else. I have no power of it, and our votes count more than now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's a personal decision. I wouldn't recommend it for everybody. I wouldn't. You should be conscious of all that stuff, but it works for me. I have a mostly stress-free life because of it. So,
well, I mean, I'm not going to get into it, but that whole controversy about the kid at the high school with the Native American dude.
Yep,
that's 10 minutes from me.
No way, really?
Yeah, I live right by that.
I didn't even hear about that.
Honestly, it's not even worth your time.
No.
It's not even an issue that you need to go look. It's not going to affect your life. But I can't stop hearing about it. The funny thing is, I hear more about it from the listeners of my show who live all over the world than the people that I'm friends with on Facebook that live in the same area as me. Like around here, it's just it's a 5-minute news blip and it's done. But people are really getting into this, and I'm just like, oh well, I'm not going to make videos about it.
No, oh heck no!
You can't really win. No. It's funny how you've been watching the channel for a while. Last year when we covered Black Panther, it was really kind of hard to talk about it because people got really emotionally invested in its movement, and I'm just like, guys, it's a movie, and Dion and I aren't white, and people wanted to get all up in arms about it. Still, it's just like we don't owe this movie anything. As I watch, Black Panther turn to dust in Infinity War right now.
Oh.
I love that fucking. We'll talk about it. I want to get you on a couple like superhero streams too, if you ever have the time. Just
yeah,
because we respect these characters so much that it'll be nice to have a discussion with somebody like you and I could do a Spider-Man commentary, and we could go deep cuts like Amazing Fantasy 15 on and stuff like that. It'll be a lot of fun to geek out with somebody at that level. My friends like Spider-Man. They don't know dick about him though.
I'd love to. I could talk for hours about it.
Well, we're gonna in July. We're gonna do some. Well, in late June, we're gonna do some more Spider-Man stuff. The closer we get to the movie, so I'll just make sure we're still in touch then, so we can just keep milking it. Because I can't wait. I can't wait to talk about Spider-Man. Fuck, if we could stop right now and do a commentary for the first two, I'd be like, yep, let's do it. But
that'd be great.
Sorry, folks. Let's see. We got JJ who says, "All hail Lord Doomcock and this High Council." Thank you very much, JJ. Ref Dealine says, as I sit on my lyrical throne, no greater ruler is there known, till the messenger hawk bade me news of Doomcock, and his feet I fell flat on his stone. Hail Doomcock.
Hail Doomcock.
Pete Slabby just sent in a $3 super chat. No message. Thank you very much. Gojirify says, Jeff can't grow a beard, but he has a beard. Ha ha. Odin's Movie Blog says, did you say a beard? Beard, you say? Huh? I got that in spades for the whole chat. Hashtag Odincock.
He's got what in spades? The beard, or never mind. I don't.
We'll just say the beard for.
We'll say the beard. We'll give him that.
Kato Roan says, Jeff, Dictor, and Gary on the same stream. I can transform into an eldritch abomination happy now. Hashtag free Harvey. Hashtag Harvey hugs our best hugs. Hashtag save counterpart.
Cheers. Kato's awesome. Thank you. He's he listens to all of us, and he's one of my patrons, and he's a good dude. It's
really nice though how much crossover our channels seem to have. It's kind of like, we're very fortunate.
I consider myself very lucky to be even loosely associated with the fandom menace. I mean, I haven't talked much about Star Wars, but we're all trying to get to the same place to make the stuff we watch better, through a consumer movement, through some form of consumer revolt, and taking a bunch of crap they haven't been able to throw the accusations out at us that they've thrown at ComicsGate and other places and have them stick. They can call me misogynist or whatever just because I don't like a female doctor. It's okay to not like a female doctor. A female doctor could have worked if they had good writing, but that's the key. What failed Star Wars? Bad writing. I mean, there's the agenda, but there's also bad writing. That's kind of what's behind. And I think if we just got better writing, a lot of us would be happier. This is part of what fandom, they keep on throwing this goddamn toxic fandom thing out there. And these are, and Jeff, as you know, and Anna, these are people who are new to fandom. This is how it's always been and always will be. It's not toxic. It's just, this is what it is. We're a fickle bunch, and we're not easy to please, but that's why we get good stuff. When you do please us all, you do get greatness like Star Wars and stuff like that. So I think don't be ashamed of being a fickle fan. That's all I'm saying.
I say it like this: I have an eye for quality. If there's something I dislike, like I use the restaurant analogy. If I pay for a meal and I don't think it's very good, I'm going to send it back, or I'm going to at least say something like, hey, this is whatever. And people don't even bat an eyelash. I'm sure the people that dump on us for not liking Star Wars are probably, motherfuckers when it comes to going out to eat. Cause they're not maybe the nicest people. It's like, oh, you treated your waiter like shit. No, like, for me, I was like, oh, my food sucked. I don't yell at the waiter. The waiter didn't cook the food. I just say, hey, this is, bad. Can I get a new one or whatever? And I just think a lot of people get emotionally invested. I use the phrase, you can't emotionally divorce yourself from Star Wars. And I think a lot of us can, because we're tied to it. We love it. It's, it's our thing, but we can also call it like we see it. And I don't have to feel obligated because it says the words Star and Wars to like it or give it a pass. I love James Bond movies. There are bad Bond movies. I won't say everyone's great. I love them 10 out of 10. I love Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Spider-Man 3 sucks. That has a lot of problems. There are some moments of, quality, but overall the movie's a disappointment. I don't know why people are so afraid to be honest with themselves and others. And then when you just critique something like we have throughout history, everything gets critiqued instantly throughout the toxicity shit has lost its edge, much like when you're called sexist, racist, misogynist. It's old hat, man. Like nobody, you've worn out its welcome. It lost all meaning.
Yeah, you're taking the power out of all those words. So mission accomplished. It's hey, I don't know if I went through this, that when I was starting out my channel, I was worried what people would say, what people would think, and then you get more comfortable, and you just kind of speak your piece. And that's, Anna went through that after was it Last Jedi that pissed you off, and you just said, fuck it, I'm going to do this video and tell the truth, and people really appreciated that. They saw your honesty and finding your voice, and it took me a while to get there. But that's what they're here for. And that's, and don't ever, don't let people shut you down on language ever. And that's the whole point of this, is they're telling us we can't criticize a freaking movie. They try to critic proof stuff through all the bullshit on Rotten Tomatoes. I got another video coming out on that. That's, I just counted thousands of Rotten Tomato reviews, and the percentages are so wrong, by the way, folks. They're just dead wrong. But what I was saying is just, find your voice and don't be afraid to come out there and say it now. And I think we are kind of winning that. EVS has said this, and I think we are kind of turning things around and winning this battle. The more of us show up, and that's why I said start a channel. The more of us doing this, it's better. It's just, it helps everybody. And behind the scenes, people can throw bad stuff at Anna or Jeff, but I haven't talked to Anna behind the scenes or Jeff, but I've talked to Doomcock, I've talked to Midnight's Edge behind the scenes. These are all good people. These are good, Anti-Trekker. These are good people, so that's why part of that's not sticking either, and more people are coming to the channels because they can sense that. So sorry, that's long-winded. But.
No. That's I think what people really come to this channel for. I know a lot of people are thrown off by our name, and that's intentional. But work-class bullshitters are probably just a bunch of assholes. And then you listen, and you're like, okay, there are some points. And then, like, I think one of our listeners was like, I used to think you guys were whatever, but then I actually paid attention, and I'm like really into it now, and joined our Patreon and stuff like that. It's like, okay, cool. So it's working. In the beginning, I just wanted to be a podcast, and the Star Wars video was a one-off shoot, one thing. And it kept getting views. And then, see, I wanted to be this artist so bad that even when we were doing the show in the early days, my goal was, I'm going to do these books and this and that. And then it was only when I started saying, I'm going to do YouTube more because I'm getting more success there, that I, found something that works. And, I enjoy writing these videos and interacting with these people so much more than just, a very, private life of solitude where you just draw all day.
Yeah.
Like, YouTube's great, man. Like, I wouldn't give it up for anything.
Absolutely not. It's been a gift, and what, I was going to open the comic store, and then this thing happened, and I had a moment of clarity. It's just like this doesn't happen often or ever, or won't happen again. So take the opportunity, jump on it now, see what happens, and I could always open a shop later if I need to. But I got really lucky, but through hard work, and Anna worked hard, you worked hard, and it's seriously the most fun I've had in a long time. Now
I have a question for you about your Rotten Tomatoes things. Do you find a lot of fake accounts that join up just that day to give a 5-star review for Doctor Who stuff?
Yep. Rotten Tomatoes is trying not to count them. I saw a concerted effort in the last week, but they've definitely changed something with Doctor Who, because the score is locked in, and it's got, since I did my last video, it was 30%. Dropped down to 23, then hit 22. It's been at 22 for 2.5 weeks, although it's added about 2,000 reviews. And out of those 2,000 reviews, it's roughly 19 reviews a page. There's 329 pages. They are averaging, yes, I counted everyone. They're averaging like 5 to 8 half-star reviews. So it should be at like 15%.
And that's fan score of the new Doctor Who?
That is fan scores that count, that have the little red flag next to them. It's taken me days. What I do is I'll do like 10 pages a day and count. Yeah, I really shouldn't have taken on this task, to be honest with you, but it's interesting. It's interesting. Now they might adjust that later, so maybe there's like a little bit of a lag and change of their percentage or anything. But out of the fan stuff, though, most of it's real. I don't believe that bot crap. I mean, there's people writing multiple paragraphs. Bots can't write multiple paragraphs and talk about Tom Baker and John Pertwee and or even with Star Wars, they can't get into the weeds about Star Wars. The bots they generally don't count those. So,
well, the only reason I asked is because I was when Star Wars Resistance came out.
Oh God.
I went to Rotten Tomatoes because people were like, the scores seem like bullshit. So I went through, and most of the 5-star reviews were just 5-star review, like say from Mary W. I'm like, okay, Mary W. And then she joined October, which was the same time I was checking it out, and had only done one thing, and that was review that and give it a 5-star. I never said bots. I think they were just people making multiple accounts because they're fucking lame.
Have you guys watched any of it?
No.
Yeah, I watched like the first 10 minutes. It was bad. It reminded me of that Iron Man Armored Adventures.
I remember that show.
Yeah, the animation was like that. What'd you think of it, Anna?
Oh my God, I'm in so much pain just knowing that after we're done with this, I have to go watch another episode and make a review on it.
Oh,
I've watched every single episode. It's painful.
Anna is doing this for your sins, people. Make sure to watch the video many times.
Well, some people say that they like watching my reviews because I'm just like, there's no logic behind it. This last episode, you think that, okay, you have a mid-season finale. There was supposed to be this big fight scene, and one of the main things was like Poe and this dumbass kid were escaping from this station that they were gonna blow up. I'm like, okay, first off, there's already been a Death Star. You already know that your guns are going to make that your station explode. It's a brand new station. You're not part of the government. I don't know where you're getting your money from, but you think it's perfectly okay to blow up your mining facility where you're mining the new material that makes all of your weapons, explode. So, great idea. You're going to blow up your resource. All right, whatever. But then when they're escaping, okay, there's an explosion, which wouldn't happen in space, but I get it. It's for special effects. They're in their little X-Wings. They're flying away. And at the last minute, you think the main character is going to die. I was very hopeful that he would die because it's so bad. Anyway, you think the character is going to die. Poe's like, where is this kid? Where is the kid? And then he's like, oh, I hid in this asteroid. It's like, okay, you hid in a hole in an asteroid. I get it. Han Solo did it. But then when he's like, okay, come on, let's go back to our planet. Instead of pulling out of the hole in the asteroid, he backs up and comes out from behind. I'm like, so if you hid in this asteroid from an explosion, but there's no back that would have protected you from this explosion while all the other asteroids exploded. You're in the one that didn't explode, and you didn't have anything there to protect you. Makes perfect sense, right? No.
Mm-hmm. Disney Star Wars on display.
So bad.
God. Yeah, it was bad. Just the color, everything about it was I was into Rebels. I liked it. The space whales was a bit much at the end, but Ahsoka showing up at the end was cool as hell. And Filoni's involved with this one. It's not a surprise he tried to detach himself from it a little bit towards the end. Yeah,
I can see where there's some things that he could have helped with. I really like that there's a lot of different alien species, even though they're extremely stupid, but I'm trying to think of nicer words to say, but then I realize this is world-class bullshitters. I can cuss. Yeah. Oh, it's so painful. Like this last episode I watched, they were getting attacked by a sea creature. It's like, you're on a barge in the middle of the ocean. How do you not have defenses set up for sea creatures? Like, come on.
It's Star Wars. I don't think it's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea where they fight that shit, but
no.
Whatever, that's neither here nor there. Believe me, I'm avoiding it intentionally.
I'll see, I'm watching it because if I'm going to talk about it, I want to know. I want to see it. That way I'm not just saying like, oh, I think it's bad because the animation is bad, which it is. It gets better. Like the people that are working on it, are actually talented. It's not their fault that the style sucks. But the writing, it's like, oh my God, you have this character who's the main character. You're trying to sell this to people and have your main character be a complete idiot. But then in one of the episodes where there's this intense moment, oh my gosh, this guy that's been an idiot through 10 episodes has a smart idea. The guy that's proved over and over again that he's a complete imbecile, that he's completely useless. Oh, all of a sudden he's the one with all the answers. It's like, really? Really? No, it doesn't work.
No, because the storytelling doesn't matter. It's all for product, and they went super cheap on that, but it's good that you're watching it. Yeah, that's why I have to watch some of the shows I hate too. You got to do it so other people don't have to. That's the service you are providing.
Mhm.
Well, I do that with movies, and I'll do Netflix shows for the listeners.
Yeah.
I just can't bring myself to watch, like an ongoing show. If it's got a finite amount of episodes, I'm more comfortable doing it. But I'll find myself like just getting too invested sometimes, and that's a time hole I can't jump into right now.
Yeah, the Punisher one is arduous. I can't. I keep putting my review supposed to actually come out tonight. I'm probably going to put it off a couple more days because I can't watch. I'm trying to watch it in the gym and while I'm doing laundry and stuff on my phone, which is not the best way to watch a show, but it's just boring.
It is.
I
got Spider-Man on the PS4 sometimes when I'm watching an episode because it's just like, I don't care about Madani, and she banged Billy in the first season. She's upset still. It's like, get over it, I mean, don't get over the fact they were shot in the head. I'm all about that stuff, but
yeah,
he screwed her over. Like, fuck, man, the Punisher's supposed to be cool. This is not cool.
It's not cool. No, it's a lot of talking in rooms and just ridiculous plot points. And we'll see. We'll see if it gets better. I heard it kind of rallies towards the end, but I'm not sure. So
yeah, I saw IGN post about some fight scene. I'm like, well, when we get to the fight scene, we'll see how it goes. I might watch an episode after the High Council if I have any energy.
Yeah.
Jeremy Shotland says Rockstar, Insomniac, Santa Monica Studios to do Star Wars. I'd shit my pants if Rockstar did Star Wars. God, that'd be amazing. Grand Theft Auto Star Wars. Oh, steal any ship in the galaxy.
They could do that. That would be a good game.
Oh, I'd love it. I mean,
that'd be amazing.
I'd stop what I'm doing. Like, guys, this channel's going on a 3-month hiatus. Rockstar Star Wars is out. Sorry.
Like, why don't they do that? They have, I mean, you could do so much. Just be like a Han Solo type character, but instead of, smuggling stuff, it's let me go steal the best ship and go do stuff like Grand Theft Auto. That would be fun. I would look into learning how to play that game.
Yeah, just running around the Star Wars galaxy freely would be wonderful. It really would. I would get into that.
That's what that game was supposed to be that got canceled. It was like Uncharted meets Star Wars. And you were able to go off planet and stuff.
Why did they cancel it?
Mismanagement. Well, I think because they closed down Visceral Games, the studio that was handling it. So it's a big mess with Star Wars. I mean, it's in the next video I'm working on, but it is reflective of everything that goes on with that company. TLJ Screwjob says, but Doomcock, Kathleen Kennedy wants Star Wars to reflect our society. SJWs.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She's doing a great job.
You know what's funny is the average person isn't an SJW. The average person doesn't care. The majority of people in the world do not care. It's just the couple crazies that make a lot of noise that get the attention.
Exactly.
Vocal minority. And what's helping, I mentioned this on my live stream. Sorry if I'm repeating it to some people, but the success of Aquaman and the lack of that was because of China. We need to thank China for that because they don't like that SJW crap at all. I forgot. They have a word for it. Yes. So they're going to maybe they will be the reason that stuff starts getting left out because of the success of Aquaman. Now we won't reap the rewards from that for about a year or two. We're still dealing with, honestly, we're still in like the Wonder Woman success thing. So Wonder Woman was successful. They wanted to copy that. And we're seeing the results from that. And then we'll see Black Panther stuff next year. Like I said, it takes a couple years for this stuff to come out when they react. And the thing is, we're all talking to each other. So trends live and die so much faster now. Everything becomes a dead meme sooner than expected. So I don't know how. That's why they should probably lean more into making stuff less agenda driven, trend driven. Try to make classic films, as both of you know, are timeless. There's very few period of their time movies, maybe All the President's Men or something like that are considered classics. Usually it's like a period piece or something, or something like Star Wars, of course. A classic film. It is timeless. Matrix, it dealt with computers. It's still kind of a timeless movie because the technology was always peripheral. It was, you saw screens, but you didn't see everything. You saw a CD, but you could still watch it today and like it. because it doesn't look like it's of any time. Batman, Tim Burton's Batman. Name what time that's in. It looks kind of like the 30s. It's got noir, but
Prince music.
Yeah, Prince music in the background. It's kind of weird. I like that. Yeah.
That movie will always get, well, one, I love it, but two, it gave us the animated series Batman, which is my go-to.
Yes, animated series.
Nerdrotic Jr. is just getting into that right now. I'm so proud of him. He's
Did you get
finding
him
this stuff on his own. I got him the Blu-ray. Yeah, I got him the Blu-ray.
It's such a good looking set. Anna, if you get the chance to get it, it's worth your money.
It was on Amazon Prime for a while.
Oh,
but I have all of them.
They remastered them on Blu-ray. They look, it's night and day different. It's really bizarre how good that show looks.
Really? I'm gonna look into that. I do not own a single Blu-ray, so.
Do you have a flat screen?
Yes.
And a Blu-ray player?
I have an Xbox.
One,
yeah.
Okay, then if you have the chance, make that your first Blu-ray purchase.
Yep.
Okay.
You're gonna,
even if that's your only one, I would recommend that.
All right. Just the animated series or the new animated series?
Just the run that you like from the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's only one box of it, I think, but it's worth it. One of our listeners sent me a copy, and I'm just
the Bruce Timm ones?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You get every episode of the show in both movies. So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good investment, folks. I wish they were, sponsoring the High Council, but they're not. The opinions are just ours and ours alone. Let's see. Bombshoe says, gay Tarkin. So they're subtly implying that gay people are evil as hell and capable of blowing up all on a planet, killing billions out of malice.
Yeah, maybe they'll insert some story over, a relationship or something like that. Like him and Bail Organa had a thing going on the side,
When he was screaming about she lied to us, he was actually like, he lied to me. He didn't leave. Now that would have been a good Robot Chicken sketch about 10 years ago.
That would have been.
They wouldn't do that shit. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so it's so offensive. It's like, it's a joke. Come on.
People can't take jokes anymore.
No, that's
and that comedy's dead. Seriously, I'm not trying to be like one of those absolutes people, but stand-up comedy is just not what it used to be. I mean, there's still some funny ones, but that one guy that got taken off stage because he was too offensive and stuff like that. It's it's a joke. Half the shit that they used to say wouldn't fly today, but it's still funny. I love Eddie Murphy Raw.
Wow.
He couldn't say that shit today. People would call him, "Oh, you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're this or that." Well, I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't say it to him, but definitely.
There would be somebody that would.
Yep.
Well, thank God we got it on DVD. We can enjoy the good shit, the way it was.
While you can, buy your physical media while you can. When the streaming wars ramp up, they're going to start making less and less Blu-rays. Fox didn't do an Orville season 1 on Blu-ray. They did it on DVD, but not on Blu-ray. Happy, which is a great series based on a great comic, they're not putting that on Blu-ray at all. They're going to start, Netflix picks and chooses what it puts on Blu-ray, but they're going to start not doing it. Now it's still, you'll probably be able to get it internationally for a while, but here in the States, they're going to start dialing that stuff back. And so to force you to watch their streaming network. It's actually smart business, but it sucks because I like physical media like you.
I have a question for you. So since we all stream, do you think we're reaching a point where it's too cumbersome to have so many streaming services, or do you think you'll just accept it and not care anymore?
I think that I'm pretty good about using Pirate Bay. So if there's something not on Netflix, I can just go there, or I already own it. But I hate that there's just some shows that are only on Hulu. And it's I don't want to pay for Netflix and Hulu. And now this Disney streaming service, I'm obviously not going to pay for that. So I'm going to have to find it through some other means. But I don't know.
It's gonna force more pirating. It's I'm there. I have the channel, so I spend a couple $100 a month on streaming services, which is ridiculous. So that's higher than my cable bill, but I write it off with the channel. But yeah, I think it's too much. I think we're at the limit before D plus comes out. I think we're there, and eventually, I think when the wars are over, it's all going to be somebody affiliating themselves. They'll have to work with Netflix, Amazon, or Hulu. And I think that's the main reason Disney got Fox, was to get Hulu And my old co-host was working on the streaming service for Disney. They've been working on it for years. And it looks like that might be the first thing that gets scrapped if it doesn't succeed and they just fall back on Hulu, which has already got the infrastructure and everything there. So they have to buy some of it from Comcast, though. That's part of the problem.
I was gonna say my statement is I'm against it, like you, Anna, the Disney streaming service. But I've had Hulu since for a couple of years now, and I don't think I would actually get rid of that to spite Disney because I would be hurting myself.
I only got Hulu so I could watch the World Cup, and after that, I stopped paying for it because it was like $40 a month. I'm like, ugh, I don't want to pay that. But if somebody that I know has Hulu, I think one of my siblings has it. Maybe I'll use theirs, but I'm all about I'll use Netflix. If it's not on Netflix and I'm like not dying to watch it, then not gonna bother me. I have Star Wars. I can watch that.
Yeah,
I get caught up on King of the Hill, so I'll watch that for like 8 hours in a day. That's not a productive day. Now, Sentient Root Beer has a message for you, Anna. Lady Anna, should we get you a Hot Toys Luke?
No, don't buy me anymore. I did a stream because when I was in college, I didn't feel comfortable having all of like my action figures because everything that I have was that I collected as a kid. And then my brother, he was a kid when Star Wars came out. So he had all the original action figures. And I went home and I stopped by my mother's house. She had all of my stuff put in boxes in like a closet room. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get all my Star Wars action figures so I can have them in the background for my channel. And she had conveniently taken a few boxes to Goodwill, which had a majority of my action figures in them. And my sister didn't understand my pain. My mother has no idea what she did, but I was hurting. And so I decided to do a stream and I was like, these are my action figures that I salvaged. And I don't have any of my stormtroopers or clone troopers. They're all gone. A majority of like the original one, like the Kenner ones, they're gone. Thank goodness she didn't get rid of my Millennium Falcon or like my Rancor, but they're gone. They're at Goodwill. Somebody is going to be very happy with my figures. But so people were so nice and they started super chatting me so I could, replace my collection. And then somebody suggested that I look at Hot Toys, and I've seen like one of my friends actually worked at Sideshow for a while and worked on the sculpting, and it's so amazing. So I went through and I was looking at them and talking about them, and I was really impressed with the Princess Leia one where Princess Leia is on Hoth. And I guess I went on too long talking about it. And so people started sending me very generous super chat so that way I could get it. I haven't gotten it yet because it's on a wait list, so I am on the wait list for it. I've never been able to justify to myself, since I'm still paying off my college, to spend $200 on a Star Wars figure. But people were nice enough to donate so I could get her, and I couldn't justify that again. So no, guys, don't buy me the Luke Skywalker. That's way too much money.
Well, folks, if you want to send me super chats, I like Hot Toys, and I have a Batman. Joker.
Anna is honorable. I like that. Jeff is not.
No,
same here, by the way. No, just kidding.
I love toys. I've watched your streams. I've seen your wall, and I'll be like, I have that and that, and I saw you talking about how you're sending off your Star Wars toys to your patrons or whatever.
I did. The ones I played with when I was a kid.
I can get mad at Disney Star Wars, but I'm never getting rid of my Now, Anna, what clone troopers did you have? Like 3 3/4 inch?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I'm friends with a guy at a local vintage toy store. I could just send you like a box of action figures if you really want to replace them.
Oh my God, please send me pictures of them so that way
I'll go into his store because I'm going to do a live stream from there. Yeah, I'll get him to I'll get some for you and just send them your way. If you really want to place, this guy has tons or figures. He's got tons and tons of these things. They're just dying for a home.
Well, see, I had a lot of remember when they came out with the 2-pack, the figures, and then they had comic books?
Oh, yeah.
So I went and I had almost every single one. And those ones are, now that I'm learning, on Amazon and eBay, those are the most expensive ones to replace. So I have been looking for those. So I have it in a box. I haven't opened it because I'm going to do a live stream where I open up all the toys that I've been buying so people can see. But I was able to replace the Thrawn one, the one with Thrawn and Talon Card. And then luckily I still have my Luke and Mara Jade one, but I'm trying to get the rest of them that I don't have anymore. So that's going to be a mission to try to find.
You'll find. Trust me. You'll be surprised. I had said on air a couple times on Good Morning Pop Culture, there's one Indiana Jones figure I need, Dr. Elsa Schneider. So I have a P.O. box, and I went and did a Christmas stream, and I got 3 of those in the mail. So,
that is cool. You guys are great.
Yeah, you guys
in the chat are brilliant. That is so cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. All 3 of them. They're on my shelf next to my Hulk Hogan and Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 action figures. So, yes, I have a garbage day toy. Let's see. Immortal Coil says, Anna, Lord Doomcock, which is more heartbreaking, City of the Edge of Forever or The Perfect Mate, and why?
I've been wanting to talk to Doomcock about Star Trek forever, but I just remember the City on the Edge of Forever is the one that I rarely watch because I don't want to get into this, but I honestly, that one is one of the ones that I don't like as much because it's like, gets you in the feels. But the one that I think is the most heartbreaking is, and this is one of the more popular episodes, but it's Amok Time, because the way that Spock responds to him learning that he killed Captain Kirk, and when he goes up on the ship and he's just like, my life is over. I killed the captain and I have to go, and I can't stay on Vulcan. I probably could get away with it because of, how high up his parents are, but he decides to go back, and you can just see the turmoil. And then when he sees Kirk and he smiles and you're able to see that glimpse of emotion out of him, and then he quickly covers it. It's like, it gets you in the feels.
It's so really good.
I just watched that 3 days ago. Seriously.
Yeah. I love that episode. My favorite episode is The Journey to Babel.
Do I know that one off the top of my head?
That's one where you get to meet Spock's parents.
Oh, and is that the one where somebody dies on the ship?
Yes.
I love that one too.
That happens a lot.
It does.
Yeah. That and Trouble with Tribbles. I love the Mud episodes. I think Mud is hilarious.
Well, if anyone wonders what I do when I draw Stealing Solo, it's Star Trek. So
yes.
I didn't know you were into Star Trek, Jeff.
Only the old show. When I was a kid. So where I live, there's a thing called Kings Island. It's a theme park. It's very, very cheap Disney World, but it's pricey and it's actually kind of good. My point is, it's it's a theme park, and in the 90s, Paramount bought it, so it became Paramount Kings Island, and they had Star Trek out the ass there. The Next Generation was on at the time, and it was still kind of popular. So I kind of tried to get into it as a kid, but I couldn't really. And then I got a little older, and I'd catch reruns on Sci-Fi, the original show, and it's kind of hokey, but in a good way. And plus, I like The Twilight Zone. It's one of my favorite shows. So there's that crossover with William Shatner. And there's just something about old sci-fi that I dig. Not modern sci-fi, but old sci-fi. So I respect it. It's a roundabout way of me saying I like old Star Trek enough to buy things from it.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get those new McFarlane ones yet?
No.
They're worth $20 if you got a chance to go pick them up.
Oh, I'll have to. I've got so many toys right now I've got to get through, but yeah, I've got to get those. I will.
Well, to be fair, there's only 2. There's only a Kirk and a Picard. That's it.
Okay, so the Picard. Okay, I got the Picard. It was in a Walgreens. I'm actually holding them right now. Yeah, I didn't even realize that was the McFarlane one, but it was because I rip them out of the package. I know I do the sacrilege thing, but I like to have my figures loose.
I'm with you.
Brilliant.
I just don't have this. I need to move. So
no, don't do it then. Don't, because you have to get your weapons and put them in little bags. And
well, I'll tell you this: since this is the first time I've ever spoken, I've never gotten rid of a single toy. I have everything I ever received as a gift, or my mom bought me, or I bought myself. They're all somewhere in the house, but I have everything still.
That is brilliant.
I have you name.
I'm looking at these on Amazon. They look so good.
The Star Trek.
Yeah.
They're awesome. They're fun. They're just little. I'm waiting for Spock. Once I get Kirk and Spock, I'm good. Other than that, I can live without the rest.
Really? I feel like you would like Picard.
Oh, I already bought Picard.
I know, but I'm saying I feel like if you watch the Next Gen, I feel like you would like it.
Jean-Luc Picard, Engage, and all that stuff. I remember that. I don't know. You see, what I like about the old Star Trek is the fights and the over dramatic nature and that music.
The same music in every episode.
Yeah, I love that. It's so fun. Like Cecil said last week, it's almost like a play on TV. because the way it's aged. And I'm like, yes, it is, but it's so cool, like just in a fun throwback way. So I got nothing but love for it.
Yep. I would cast Cecil as Harry Mudd, as the new Mudd. So
I would. I'm gonna go meet Cecil soon.
Oh, cool. Right on. I dig Cecil.
I did too. Let's see. Mega Jenny 1 says, in my new video for tomorrow, Quest for the Best, Batman. I'm gonna throw out Michael Keaton for live action Batman. That's my favorite.
Batman, yeah, definitely do oh god, Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton. I saw some website wanting to bring him back. That'd be so great if he came back.
I'm there day one. Like seriously, I would pay to help make that movie happen.
Yeah, I would help crowdfund that movie. Yeah, hell yes.
Because I used to watch. I caught that show actually debuted at night on WB, like at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. It was some kind of like special first episode thing. Yeah, and I remember catching that as a kid, thinking this is incredible. And I watched that show every single day it was on. Loved it.
They did the same thing with the animated series. I don't know if this was the debut, but they showed the first episode in prime time on Fox.
Oh, on Leather Wings.
Yep.
I was only like 4 when that show came out.
Youngster. I was 22.
Old man.
I am an old man. I feel it too.
Trey Chester says, Doomcock, please fix your mic. It keeps cutting out. I don't think his mic cut out. I think he just left, Trey.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you, man. No, I understand. Here's one thing we all can attest to. Google Hangouts kind of sucks at times.
Yep.
So we're sorry if we give you any audio issues. I actually upgraded my whole internet infrastructure here at the house just so I would sound better. Let's see. Cookie Lickin' Anna says, the cookie licker has awakened. Love Dune. Cookie Lickin' Anna. So Anna, she left. Never mind. I was going to wait for Anna's response. Her internet must have dropped.
Uh-oh. Bye, Anna.
Let's see. Squire Simpson, says, Jeff, have you ever considered making a gaming channel? Yes, I have. Last year, I bought all the stuff. I thought, gaming's cool. People dig it. Maybe I should do some stuff. So I got Elgato and all this stuff. And I did content, and people weren't watching, and I was losing subscribers. And now that I've kind of cut back on some of the live streams, we've seen really big growth and big videos and all that stuff. So I'm thinking I would like to do like a Jeff Let's Play channel. I'd redo Spider-Man. I'd like to do, Nintendo. I got the new Mario. I'd love to do it. If there's an audience, I will make the content. So all you guys got to do is, help me get, how about this? Help me get the Good Morning Pop Culture channel monetized by going over there and checking it out. It's a link to our main page. I can start doing stuff like that in my free time. So you guys let me know. I got the equipment. Alejandro Flores Ibarra says, Jeff, since one of you and the BSers' favorite film of last year was Ready Player One, might I recommend Terry Gilliam's Brazil? It shares a few similar themes and is basically Monty Python meets 1984. I've been meaning to watch that movie for a long time.
It is fantastic.
Jonathan Pryce, the main guy, is the bad guy in James Bond, Tomorrow Never Dies. So I'm kind of one of those people, if a Bond actor's in something else, I want to watch it. So that's on my list of movies I want to see. If it ever hits Netflix or a streaming service, I will watch that immediately.
It is a beautiful movie. If you're a fan of film, so you like Gilliam, Terry Gilliam, you a fan of him with Time Bandits and stuff. Yeah, it's arguably his best film. It's not my favorite. I would say it's his best directed film though. But I love the guy. I absolutely, Fisher King and Time Bandits, The Adventures of Baron von Munchausen. Love everything that guy. He's just perfect. Everything it's like walking into a dream. It's just surreal and beautiful, and everything, like the costuming, everything is just the tiniest detail, and it's still kind of Monty Python in a way. So I love him, man. Well, you will love that movie.
That's going to happen. Black Angus Review says, Jeff, have you seen my MCU Spidey video? I think the ball is in Song's court once the initial deal expires. I actually meant to say Sony's court once the initial deal expires, especially with Golden Globe. Thoughts? Black Angus Reviews, I apologize. I haven't watched it. I haven't even watched any Joe Rogan videos, and that's usually what I put on later, or when I do other stuff too. I'll have to give it a watch. I am subscribed to your channel, though. So, folks, check out Black Angus Reviews. He's a big member of the Fandom Menace and puts out good stuff with Jeff the Iron Wolf and I believe Odin's Movie Blog and the Rookie Critic and a couple other people. So they're all cool guys. I don't know. I think because of the success of Venom, we'll see some Spider-Man over there possibly, but Into the Spider-Verse wasn't that big of a hit. It wasn't a flop or a failure, but everyone acts like it was such a big deal, but it did nothing compared to Aquaman. Did you see it, Gary?
But Venom, yes, I did. I reluctantly enjoyed it.
I've been into the Spider-Verse. Did you see that?
Oh, Into the Spider-Verse. Sorry. Yes, I did. God, that's a movie that's divisive with people, and I understand why. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was just an animated movie and not for the stuff peripherally around it, which, Sony, there's, even my kid was talking about, like, if it's a success, then Sony's going to take back Spider-Man. And I'm like, where'd you hear that? And of course, from, Midnight's Edge and not his own dad's channel. That's fine. But not hurt at all over that. I thought it was okay. The animation was really choppy, and but it threw it threw the comic book code up there, and I'm kind of a sucker for comic book stuff. All right, so I admit you pluck my heartstrings on that stuff. I thought it was just okay as a cartoon, but the frames were dropping like crazy in that thing. I was watching in a digital theater, and you could see lines on everybody's skin, like everybody was textured like a football or something like that. There's like little dots. Were they supposed to do that? I don't know.
Yes.
But and it got really busy towards the end. Maybe if you were on shrooms or acid, that ending would have been really trippy. But it was okay. It didn't make a lot of money though, so I think that's probably good. Venom making money does. I think that changes. You got to. I keep forgetting her name. Who was the? Oh my God, Amy Pascal. Pascal. Well, you got to watch out for her. She really wants to start her own Spider-Man MCU, and I heard that they want to redo the deal. But there's a possibility they might not, and that would be very bad. That'd be very, very bad. And we get this, they're going to do a Craven movie and a Morbius movie. The Craven movie wouldn't work. Morbius probably could, maybe. I don't know.
Coming out sooner than we think. Jared Leto.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. They put that Venom movie shot here in San Francisco, and they did the principal photography on that like 8-9 months ago, because they filmed it near my wife's salon. That motorcycle jump scene is like a block away from my wife's salon. Okay,
doesn't it bother you that at one point he's like in Soma, and then the other point he's in like Russian Hill? I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then he's in like the financial district. I'm like, this wouldn't happen. You filmed the same street like 3 times just from different angles.
Yep. Yeah. That was pretty funny. They did a little bit of that in Ant-Man as well. Their continuity was better than Venom, of course, but yeah, I did catch that. They're like, hey, you can't get there from there. That's impossible.
Yeah. And guys, my internet cut out for like the past 5 minutes, so I jumped in right when you guys started talking about Spider-Verse.
Okay. Oh yeah, we were just reading some of the super chats. We were talking. Black Angus Review sent one in. One thing I wanted to say, Gary, is I'm kind of glad Into the Spider-Verse didn't make a ton of money, because I don't like the idea of multiple versions of the same hero. So I'm against Miles Morales Spider-Man, not just on principle that there's only one. He's, there's not going to be 20 different Spider-Men out there. Yeah. I don't like that. I don't even like the whole DC. Like, I'll buy DC's multiple Earths because it's a DC thing, but Marvel has never really been that to me. It's always been like the 616 universe. You had your Ultimates, and you had alternate, realities and the what ifs and stuff, but it wasn't like, well, this is, Green Lantern from Earth, whatever. I was like, oh, that's a DC thing, Marvel. Don't rip it off.
I don't know. I really liked the whole style for Into the Spider-Verse. I think it's because I have friends that worked on the movie, so I got to see progress. I haven't seen it yet. I want to go see it. I just have to drag someone with me that is willing to go watch that movie with me. But that's not a child. But I don't know. I'm really looking forward to it, so I hope.
I just don't like the character. Like, he was in the new Spider-Man game, and I'm dreading playing part 2 because I know Peter Parker's gonna either die, succumb to the symbiote, and Miles Morales takes over. But I won't buy the game if I have to play. I don't want to play as another version. They don't do other Bruce. They do Bruce Wayne Batman. We're 10 Batman movies in, and nobody bitches. But for some reason, that character is always like, well, we need the other version. It's like the character's been out for like 7 years, if that. Miles Morales is probably, 2014 maybe. He's not that popular. Let's stop acting like he is, internet.
Yeah, he's really not. The comics, sold well. God, 2011, when I had my shop, they did okay, and then it tailed off. People got tired of Bendis and the Ultimate Universe, and at that point, Spider-Man was already ruined for me. Because I am a purist. If this was a live action film, I'd feel totally different about it. If they were trying to put it in the MCU, I'd freaking hate it. Because there is only one Spider-Man. I hate Spider-Verse, multiple Spider-Mans. I hate Spider-Man being in the Avengers. He's never been. The only team he would be affiliated with at all is the Fantastic Four, and that's it.
He broke into their headquarters and then found out they didn't do it for money, and then he just left. He's like, I'm done.
You don't get paid for this shit later. No, Spider-Man's he doesn't have time for teams or anything like that. And I listen, I'm going to sound like old man. I like my Spider-Man not liked by the police, Aunt May not liking him, and being misunderstood. That's part of the charm of Peter Parker, and he does this stuff anyway, even though he gets so much crap for it all the time. If it wasn't for Daredevil, I would call Spider-Man the punching bag of the Marvel Universe, and that's the charm of the character. Now, even in the comics, Parker Industries, I know they got rid of that, but the whole Dan Slott run and
garbage,
total garbage.
I would. I'm not in love with One More Day at all. I don't like it. I'm not going to come to its defense retroactively just because I don't like the Dan Slott stuff. But at least up until then, I was enjoying it because that was Straczynski, right?
Yeah, it's the Back in Black storyline that was prior to that was great.
I loved it. I was a senior in high school, and that's when I really got back into comic books heavy. I was like, I got to read everything because Spider-Man came out every week. There was an amazing web of Spider-Man Family, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I bought everything, But
what was the one issue that came out where he has to kill Mary Jane?
Oh, you mean the one where he accidentally kills her with his radioactive semen?
Yes,
Spider-Man Reign.
Yes,
Rain. Yes, that was actually a good. I forgot why am I blanking on a name? That was actually good. That was pretty much Spider-Man's Dark Knight. That was an attempt at it, and it was actually a pretty dark ass story, and you got to see the little spider wing in it. That's why everybody was making such a big deal about the bat wing. I'm like, they've done the spider wing, and they've done Elektra's what, and that's nothing new. Hoo-ha. Yeah, that's
I have Batman Damned over here. My mom's boyfriend's big into comic books. He's like, you want a copy of that new Batman book before they all sell out? I'm like, yeah, I'll take one. So
I have it too.
I got one too.
United by Bat Dong. That's what we're going to name this episode. Sack Slappy Happy says, "Hail to the High Council. Episode 9 has nothing left to give because Rianne Jansen took a dump in JJ's mystery box and lit it on fire and put it on Kathleen Kennedy's porch." I just love Rianne Jansen.
Rianne. That's what we call
round-headed Ryan. Yeah, I really, if it wasn't for this channel, like you'd mentioned how you watched Empire. I don't know if I said this to you right after you watched The Last Jedi. It took me 6 months to watch Star Wars again after The Force Awakens. I couldn't fucking believe it that's what it was. And what bothered me is everyone bought into this shit. Like only a couple people that I knew were like, oh, it wasn't that good. Everyone else was like, what are you talking about? I got into a fucking fight with my cousin at Christmas over how much I hated that movie. And he's 40. He would have been 40 at the time it came out. So he's, roughly your age in terms of Star Wars and, growing up with all this shit. And we just, got at it. He's like, it's so great. And he starts talking shit about James Bond movies. They're all the same thing. I'm like, what are the Friday the 13th movies? The same fucking movie every time. Like, how many times can they kill the kids? And it just evolved into like name. It was really messy. I hate Christmas 2015.
Yeah, I really do too. From the God damn that movie. Yeah, I don't understand. People were coming out. It's the next Empire. This is the new Empire. And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, this is gonna suck. You saw the same people. God, actually, I saw the same person who liked Star Trek and like Doctor Who say the same thing. And it's just they're so full of shit. These these not even pundits, these media types. I almost said his name. I can't because I know him. But God, he used to be. He practically admitted to me that he sells out That's he gets he got invited because he's a Twitter influencer. He doesn't really write anything. He's a Twitter influencer, and they being the media companies are onto this, and they're starting to invite them. I wouldn't be surprised they start extending that stuff out to YouTubers. Probably not us.
Oh,
Probably not. But yeah, that stuff happens. They get a bunch of people who are influential on Twitter, have a screening for them, and then they tweet. That's what he did. Oh, he absolutely loved it. It was the next Empire. Yeah.
If they ever offered me that, I wouldn't sell out, but I would try to take it, but they probably wouldn't like my response if I.
Yeah, we get away with it once.
Yeah.
I would definitely take it once and then speak the truth. Ash versus John Campea. Oh, Ash would win very quickly.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hail to the king. Oh, I just saw him.
You met him, or
he was doing a Q&A here at the Castro Theater for Sketchfest day before yesterday. They showed Evil Dead in this old theater, and he did a Q&A before and after. It was great.
I had a chance to meet him, and I didn't take it.
Oh no!
I was in college, and I wanted to do college things, but my friend worked for a newspaper. He's like, yeah, we could have went and met him. I'm like, fuck. But I chose other.
He tours around though, doing his book tours and stuff. You'll get another chance.
Well, I will. I went to Michigan State, where the whole Evil Dead thing went down, where they filmed it, and Sam Raimi. Because like my AOP year, academic orientation, was 2007, so it was the year Spider-Man 3 came out, and they brought up Sam Raimi. It was like, the guy that made Spider-Man went to school here, and I was like, yeah, and he also made Evil Dead and all this shit. And like, oh, then and they gave us a Sam Raimi speech, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I already liked the dude. I already bought in. Don't have to sell me, college.
That's right.
Preaching
to the choir.
Yeah. Duct tape Kia Jeremy #winning says, I miss you, Anna. Jeremy left me at home. California is greater than Florida.
Duct tape Jeremy? Did I just hear that right? There's the duct tape Jeremy.
Hold on. I think it was duct tape NASCAR. No, sorry, duct tape Kia Jeremy #winning. Yeah, I love people. Acid Blade 21 says, just went and saw the Dragon Ball Broly movie. It was an awesome movie, better than any Marvel movie. And spoiler alert, didn't have any SJW crap in it. I'm not surprised that a Japanese animation did not have SJW crap in it. Because they don't really seem to buy into that shit, especially in the games. I know some of these companies have to censor stuff because of American releases, but it's like, people were pissed at Soul Calibur because they had jiggle boob physics. And I'm like, is that really a problem?
Right. Now, didn't that movie make a bunch of money?
Broly, the Dragon Ball Z thing.
Yeah.
I know a bunch of people are going to see it. Good luck. I don't dislike Dragon Ball Z. It used to be my thing for a while. But do you like anime or manga, or not really?
Not really. I mean, I like some of it, but it's not my thing.
Same here. I like Golgo 13 and a couple grounded ones, but the unrealistic or super fantasy ones, I don't get into it, man. I don't shit on people that like it, but it's not for me either.
I've been looking into Attack on Titan, but I remember liking Death Note for a little while.
I liked that on the anime on Netflix, not the movie.
Yeah.
Castlevania's, I mean, that's American made. That
was still damn good though.
That was good. That was really good. And there's an old one, Star Blazers. Fucking love Star Blazers. Where they're on the battleship, and yeah, that one's great.
I know that. I think I've seen that for real.
Yeah, that's it. It's had a story arc throughout the entire cartoon. That was the first time I'd ever seen that when I was a kid. This was like back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, Star Blazers is great. You're right, Ruggs in the chat. Yes, it's great. Check it out.
Let's see. Claustoric says Oscar drinking game. God, I could do that live every time they say something stupid and political. Take a drink.
I'm a lightweight, so I can't do that. I'll die.
Yeah, don't die over an Oscar drinking game. I'm one of those people that can tolerate an ungodly amount of alcohol, so that would be expensive for me.
I can't drink. I'm a recovering boozer and dope fiend. So yeah, one of those. So well, I had my share. I had a good time, and then a bad time. Really, really bad time. So
yeah, but look where you are now, man.
Yeah, life is good. Thanks.
I was say, yeah, the positive aspect outweighs the negative. Believe me, we've all had shit happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been watching your channel grow a bunch lately, so
it's been nuts. It's been a lot of fun. I've been full time. I quit my this sounds so bad to my wife's friends too. We were at the Christmas party, they're like, "So what do you do now? You working at Tesla?" I'm on. No, I quit Tesla to be a YouTuber.
I don't let my family know how successful our channel is because I really don't want them to start listening.
Oh yeah.
That's a great. Yeah, I'm really glad my family doesn't listen. My wife doesn't listen. Nobody does. Yeah, that's a good strategy.
No one in my family really likes Star Wars too much. I mean, my dad and my brother, but they're not going to watch. So I agree. I don't want them to watch. I don't want them to know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. I feel like it's weird. I almost feel like this is like YouTube's like a personal thing for me, yet like it's been watched millions of times, the shit I do. So it sounds really dumb to say it out loud, but it's like, I don't know. I don't want the people around me to know. I want everyone out there that watches to know. And I'm open with you guys, but I don't know. People in my normal everyday life, I just don't. I almost like to keep it like a secret identity thing because like I see, like at the gym, people are like, "What do you do? You're always here at weird hours in the day." I'm like, "Oh, I work from home. I got an internet business." Like I never ever let on what I do because I just don't want people to listen to it or say shit to me or try to say stuff about me. It's weird, but I like the secretive nature of it.
No,
everyone that knows me just doesn't care, and they're just like, "Oh, Anna, you paint and draw and you do stuff on YouTube." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I do." Wink, wink.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my buddies used to be on like the podcast. You remember this, Gary? The show used to be really different. Like our channel used to have more people on it and stuff, and then it kind of fell apart and became what it is now. And they used to listen, but I think they're a little mad because they're like, well, we can't come on anymore. I'm like, well, you guys didn't show up for 8 weeks straight. What do you expect out of me?
Yeah. I had people too. I had people, and now it's me and Susan on Friday nights. But yeah, I've gone through 3 people on my channel, so I know I feel you on that one. Happens.
Yeah.
Stay solo.
Not a Star Wars story. Mega Jetty 1 says, I bet Captain Marvel gets snapped 5 minutes into Endgame. I mean, we can dream, Mega Jetty 1.
Oh God, I would cheer. I would be standing ovation.
I might tear up if she dies right away. That's the greatest movie ever, man. Nah, dude, I'll pull. The collector where he's like magnificent in Infinity War when he dies. I'd do that in the theater if they actually killed her off. I'd love it. Immortal Coil says Rogue drains Danvers. I'd love for that to happen, but that MCU X-Men crossover ain't happening anytime soon.
No.
Leo Breaker 49 says, evening, everyone. Did you all hear that Marvel is giving Captain Marvel new powers and increased strength to be the most powerful, mainly time travel? I've heard all of those things. Have you guys heard those?
Yeah.
Yeah. They want her to be Marvel's Superman, which Marvel doesn't have a Superman. That's what makes it Marvel. Let's
hope it's going to backfire, and it's nothing to do with misogyny. It's bad storytelling and a desire to elevate yourself or the character instantly. It's like the DCEU. You guys shot for Justice League too early. Only when you pull it back with an Aquaman do you kind of get where you're going. So it's all about the slow build, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the Vision just showed up in the first Avengers movie, it would make no sense. Yeah. They had to build to him, and it made sense eventually.
Well, see, I don't understand why they're all. If you read the comics, you know who Captain Marvel is, and I mean, I had to take a history of comics class, so the only reason I know who Captain Marvel is was because of that, and it was right after they released that new one where she's got the weird mohawk. I remember her when she was Miss Marvel, not this Captain Marvel stuff. But why wouldn't you use characters that you've already established? Like, they're trying to show how Scarlet Witch is very, very powerful, and they made that a big thing in this last the Avengers movie, the Infinity War one. So why wouldn't you do a movie on her? Or if you're going to show you Captain Marvel, she's going to come save everyone, why didn't they go I know that there was problems with who was in charge, but if they did it before and did 3 movies about her, how she became who she was, that, because when you see Iron Man, even though he hasn't had a movie in a long time, it's like, oh, it's Iron Man. We spent 3 movies learning about him and who he is and why he's, the head of the Avengers. Why didn't they do that with her? If they want us to care about her, why just throw her in at the end? It's like, oh, she's going to save everyone. It's like, well, I've known who Iron Man was for 10 years. You show me this person in the last 5 minutes and you expect me to believe she's going to save everyone? It doesn't work.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. You get it. I wish they would get it. I mean, it's a basic request. Make us care. You can't make us care in one movie. Look at what a diminished role. Look at how little of a role Black Panther played himself, the character, in Infinity War. He just opened up Wakanda so they could fight there. He personally didn't have this connection to Thanos and the Soul Stones and all that stuff. So that's neither here nor there.
Well, I think they're trying to market it to people that didn't know about superheroes. Like my sisters, they don't know anything about superheroes. They know who Batman is because I made them watch Batman. Now that Marvel movies are out, they're like, oh, did you see the new Thor movie? It's like, you had no idea who that was before this movie came out. And I think in that sense, they're making money, so they're doing a good job. But you got to remember where the characters are, where they came from and what they're about, not just throwing stuff because it's what you want people to want, if that makes sense.
Oh, I get where you're coming from 100%. Yeah. That internal consistency is what we desire. And, for the sake of maybe marketing it a certain way and you sacrifice that, you hurt yourself long term.
Yeah, they risk everything. They risk the legacy of the MCU with this. So I'm hoping Kevin Feige keeps that in mind. And we're all wrong. And she's just a little bit part in the movie and everything's fine, which is fine. Maybe she just saves Tony or something like that. And that's fine.
I hate to say it. If that movie is the dumpster fire that people assume, we're going to have a shitload of content to make.
Oh, God. that's why I've been holding back till it comes out. So
I've expressed my concerns, but I don't think I've made but maybe 1 or 2 Captain Marvel videos. I'm just, a trailer reactions, whatever. But, I don't care enough about the character to go and do the deep dives like I do with Star Wars and Star Trek. Well, not Star Trek, excuse me, Star Wars, Ghostbusters, soon to be Spider-Man. Let's see. Jordan Walcrest says, if you think -1 is bad, it's been -25 to -35 Celsius here in Ottawa, Ontario. Hello from the capital of soy country. Oh my God. I've never been to Canada and I don't know if I want to go. Maybe one day. Basil says, Shyamalan was basically, hey, you're an Unbreakable fan? Well, F you, mother effer. I spit in your face, bish. It ruined Split and Unbreakable. Oh, man.
Oh, no.
That's what I heard. I was listening to EFAB and Wolf said that.
I need to get on. People told me I need to go on Muller's EFAP show. It was every frame of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go on eventually. I got to talk to Muller. Muller and I are going to do a video, or not a video. We're going to do a stream after Avengers comes out. So be on the lookout for that.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that dude. He's great.
Yes.
TLJ's, have you been watching his long form Star Wars thing that he's doing?
Yeah.
Yep.
As soon as part 2 comes out, we're in that. So, or maybe part 2 is out already.
Oh, wow.
Great.
Yeah, because I recorded audio a while ago, and he's like, perfect, thank you. So he's cool. Let's see. TLJ Screwjob says Matt Smith is the best Doctor. Tennant has the best adventures.
Matt Smith has the same birthday as me.
Not what? No, never mind. I'll just look it up later. I'm not gonna.
We believe you.
On air.
We listen and believe.
Yeah.
Not the same year, just the same day.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, the exact same age as you.
No.
Hey, I shared a birthday with Princess Leia, so that was cool. But yeah, but then Kim Kardashian got famous, and she has the same birthday as well, so it kind of ruined it for me. Let's see. The Honest Reviews says, have you heard about how this NPC on Twitter calling for Dragon Ball to be banned for sexism only to be called out by the voice actor of Bulma? I haven't, but I love that story already.
I love it.
Yeah, people are dumb. Like, the dumbest shit goes down on Twitter, and people and like companies are like, we gotta pay attention to what's going on Twitter.
Right.
No, you don't.
Well, they should listen to some of the things their own employees say.
Yeah, the Quartering talks about all this corporate ineptitude in his videos. You're surprised how some of these gaming companies stay afloat.
They're not gonna be for long. There's a correction coming in that one. But yeah, especially he's been on top of it. He's really good.
The one thing I think we'll see, like, more classic stuff. Like, Nintendo to me has been hitting out of the park with their games have been good, the console's cool enough, and they're not really getting entrenched with garbage. I think we're going to see a lot of remakes and stuff like that, and people are just going to kind of hold off on new IPs until this political shit blows over. Because it's like, did you guys play Star Wars Battlefront 2?
I did not.
No.
Although I have it.
A lot of people were like, you got to, we got a story, but we got a female lead, and it definitely felt agenda driven to a lot of people. I wasn't going to buy the game just based on principle, but hopefully in a couple of years we can just get the good stories and good gameplay and less DLC. That's my desire. Less DLC. Because even as much as I love Spider-Man, the DLC felt superfluous to a point where it's like, do I need this? Not really. But I want the extra suits. Bomb shoot. But yeah, to answer to the honest reviews, though, I love that. These people are so dumb. They call out sexism for nothing. It's like, watch the fucking content. And know it comes from a different era decades ago. I mean, Dragon Ball Z is like almost 30 years old. I think it's 30 years old this year. I think it came out in 1989. And then, it's Japan. It's a different country. They have a different way of life. Just respect that.
Yep. My wife's there right now.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, she is. That's where.
Have her pick me up some Moth-X action figures.
Copic markers.
Those are so exciting. You like Copic markers?
Yes, I have. I only have one more set left to get, and then I will have all of them.
And then you got to refill them.
I know. I have a lot of the refills, but there's an art store close to me, and they have twice a year a 25% off sale. So I'm able to get like the 72 sets for like 200 and something bucks. So
you want to know how I picked up my Copic marker collection? Every day I went to Hobby Lobby and used a 40% off coupon.
There you go. Did you buy them all individually?
Yeah.
Oh, painful.
I honestly don't have a bunch. I'm not into color. I was actually going to talk to you about a future thing, but we'll talk off air.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Bomb Shoes says, I saw Avatar in theaters while at my buddy's boot camp graduation in Georgia. It was 110 out, and we were feeling the heat. It was 110 out, and we were fleeing from the heat. We came out of that theater thinking we should have just stayed outside.
Is he talking about the James Cameron Avatar or the M. Night Shyamalan Avatar?
Yeah.
I'm thinking The Last Airbender, because it says 110 degrees in Georgia, and that movie came out in the summer. Avatar was a winter release.
Gotcha.
I
Yeah, I agree. That movie's horrible.
Well, I guess I don't need to see this movie, so I'm going to listen to Anna and Nerdrotic and never watch it.
Yeah, don't.
Don't watch it. It'll ruin your life.
Jason Green says, "Hi, hail Jeff, Doomcock, that Star Wars girl. Love the content. Keep it up." Jason, thank you for all the stuff you sent us for the P.O. Box, by the way, man. I hope you guys had a chance to check out our Tales from the P.O. Box video where I opened up the stuff we got in the mail, and our buddy Jason Green always sends great stuff. So, Jason, thank you very much. Mark C. says, I'm thinking Gaten Matarazzo, Dustin from Stranger Things, would be a great fit as a next-gen Ghostbuster. I don't dislike that kid at all. He's actually my favorite kid on that show.
Yeah, he's really good.
I think he would have been a good fit in it. Not necessarily like have to be like, I'm just saying like that kid has some charisma. A lot of child actors to me are really just there.
Yep.
Which one is he?
The kid with no teeth.
Oh, the one that had D'Artagnan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I had to think about that. I like Stranger Things, but I've only watched each episode once. So maybe that's something I'll do for season 3. Go back and rewatch all the shows.
I still haven't finished season 2.
The ending's cool, so give it a shot. Sorry, Jay Longstroke says, all right, I don't know if it was a race thing or a lady thing, but I'm mad as hell.
Yeah, that joke was stupid.
Chapter Master Dante says, who else will write if the government gave Disney a bailout to keep making more dumpster fires? Hail the backup council.
Yeah, me. I would. Any bailout of a company like that, it's bad enough that the goddamn banks got bailed out. So, yeah.
Trey
Get off my lawn.
All right, Clint, calm down. You talk about movies being filmed by you. I was right by where they filmed Gran Torino the whole time. So, and the funny thing is, I've never seen the fucking movie. But,
oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really good.
I need to. I like Clint Eastwood a lot. I want to see The Mule, but I haven't had a chance.
Oh, yeah, I got to see that too. That was based on a true story.
Ooh, he looks really fragile for being as old as he. I mean, he's old. I'm not making fun of him, but like, I want to see how that dynamic plays for him looking so old and him being in such a that kind of role.
I don't know. For being old, he's in great shape. I saw him a couple years ago at like a concert, and he was like 5 feet away from me. I was like, oh my gosh, he's like 20 years older than my father, but he looks great, and he's super tall.
Is he really?
Mm-hmm.
I always thought Clint Eastwood was just normal height. I guess I'm wrong.
Maybe I'm just freakishly short. So
how tall are you?
Short.
Like 5 feet tall?
A little bit taller.
Okay. I was like, oh, okay. That's tiny to me. Let's see. How about This comes from Trey Chester. How about letting Moore and company finish Caprica?
That would be. I wish they would finish Caprica. I loved Caprica. It got cut off too soon. It was a really interesting concept. I don't know if you saw it or not. It was like the origin of the Cylons for Ronald Moore's Battlestar Galactica, and it started out as basically an AI, a game kind of, and it becomes sentient through this guy's daughter, and it's got Eric Stoltz in it. It was really good. I liked it a lot.
First Marty McFly.
Yes.
I wish they'd released that alternate version of Back to the Future. I'd pay good money for that. Let's see. TLJ Screwjob says, genuinely, why not call her Mary Jane Wokeness? You wouldn't be wrong. Zendaya is the worst representation of any. She's not even a real character, Michelle. But I can't stand her.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take Kirsten Dunst back, and I didn't even love her. She's better than we got.
Yeah.
TLJ Screwjob also says, I won her fair and square. Not according to Solo. Yeah, that movie does contradict quite a bit of shit in the Star Wars universe, or the lore, if you will.
I still have not seen it.
It's on Netflix.
I'm not watching it.
When I did a stream last weekend, it was, or 2 weekends ago, it was a movie.
I watched all of the review, and that's all I needed.
I've seen worse movies. Last Jedi. Says, good day, High Council. Disappointed with the lack of original stories and characters in TV, movies, etc. What will happen to our legacy characters once they've been retconned to the point where we won't recognize them?
They'll retcon them some more. They'll remake the original trilogy. That's coming.
Like with that animated original trilogy.
Oh, God.
Oh, Star Wars Galaxy of Adventure?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of it.
I've been watching those for my video that I'm working on. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what are the 3 things you think of when you think of Luke versus Darth Vader and Empire Strikes Back? Anna, you go first.
Emotions, a lot of emotions. Anger, fear, aggression, lack of patience, epicness, colors, pain again at the end, and just like complete and utter, like, holy fucking shit, this is awesome.
Gary, what about you?
When they were fighting, oh God. Okay, I was thrilled. Then I was concerned because Luke did go there way too soon, and then I was thrilled again when Darth Vader started ripping stuff off the wall and throwing things at him, and you actually saw what a true Sith can do. I was astonished. And you realize that, like, I feared for Luke. I'm like, how's he going to get out of this? Like, there's no way. Like, he doesn't stand a chance. He's dead. And then, of course, they dropped the whole father thing, and that my jaw dropped because nobody saw that coming. Nobody. So yeah, at that point, that had been the greatest thing I'd ever seen on film ever. So I was just astonished and happy.
Well, in Galaxy of Adventure, listen to this. It starts off with Vader and Luke, and all of a sudden Vader starts throwing that debris at Luke instantly in the beginning of the fight. Luke does a bunch of flips, fights Darth Vader. Luke eventually at one point in the little cartoon gets thrown over the balcony, the girder thing or the gantry, climbs over while he lightsaber duels Darth Vader. And then instead of getting his hand cut off, they lightsaber clash and there's a huge blast of explosive energy, and then it ends.
What?
That's it. That's what those are. They reimagine moments from Star Wars and they make them a little snappier. It was such a waste of like 2 minutes. But I'm like, what is this?
Oh my God. That's like when somebody cheats on you with someone that's uglier than you. It's like, at least, like, if you're going to redo this, get someone better. Like, go get a supermodel or something. Don't go get a dumpster. What the hell? They took something that epic and they couldn't make it look cool?
No. And people say, but they use the original voices and they do this. That doesn't mean shit. They also infuse the music from episode 3 into it, where Anakin and Vader fight. Or not Anakin and Vader, sorry, Vader and Obi-Wan during the final battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. They infuse that, and then it cuts right back into the Imperial March thing. It's the oddest thing I've ever watched.
It sounds like a perfect representation of what Disney has done to Star Wars, like wrapped up in a little bow in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's weird too because it's not that successful. Like I have more subscribers than the channel that it's on, and I have videos that get more views than their Star Wars Galaxy of Adventure things. So the kids that they think are watching these things aren't really watching them.
No, and they would be watching them on YouTube. So
kids love YouTube.
For kids to see like on Disney Channel?
I don't think so. I think they're exclusively for the YouTube page or the YouTube channel.
Okay, well, some people don't even let their children on YouTube. So what are they thinking if they're trying to market this to children?
Again, like Gary says, it's like the perfect representation of Disney Star Wars wrapped up in a bow. Ineptitude, bad decisions. Well, ineptitude is not necessarily bad decisions. But my point is, it's representative. You were right, Gary, 100%.
Releasing Resistance at 10 o'clock at night.
Yep, that's in my next video too.
Yeah.
It's such a dumb thing. Oh, what about DVR? Who doesn't have DVR? Who the fuck cares?
Isn't it all about ratings on who watched the show right then?
It's weird because then people are like, well, DVR counts as a view. It's like, does it though? And look, there's always going to be excuse. Anna, you know this. All of us know that. If you critique something in geek culture, you're always going to find pushback. Unless you make fun of the new Ghostbusters, then you find out that 99% of the people agree with you, and then you're like their hero. So talk about shitty Ghostbusters 2016, and you'll get tons of thumbs up and like barely any thumbs down. Diversity and Cecil says, driving home, great show. Anna and Nerdrotic are great.
Thank you.
You guys get the Cecil seal of approval.
That is brilliant.
Cecil's my dude.
What's up, Cecil?
Stone Cold Jeremy says, hey guys, just wanted to drop some SC love. This has been a great stream. Swig a beer for the great people.
Thank you.
Swig one for me.
What? That's for you, Stone Cold Jeremy. Who do you got in the Rumble this weekend? I'm going to go with The Miz. Grand Inquisitor, thank you very much. Well, I'm tardy to the party. Sorry, Jeff. Thanks, YouTube. What did I miss? I agree. Get your physical media collection while you can before it's censored.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the Lord of the Rings Lego game?
No.
It was taken off shelves.
What?
Like it was not taken off shelves. It was taken off of digital, and they're starting to take it back. Let me look that up real quick because I know this Lord of the Rings Lego game was just taken back. So let's see.
Why?
Okay, Lord of the Rings Lego game. Let's see. News. Maybe it was something to do with licensing. Yeah, Lego Lord of the Rings game mysteriously disappears. This comes from Sci-Fi Wire 2 weeks ago. Let's see. Lego Lord of the Rings and Lego The Hobbit, they're gone. It says because purchasing links for both games mysteriously disappeared, at least for today, as reported by Kotaku. Statement circulating from Warner Brothers, blah, blah, blah. Gives no explanation to why this has happened. But what is known for sure is that if you already have the game, you can still play it. Kotaku quotes an unnamed Warner Brothers source saying Lego Lord of the Rings and Lego The Hobbit will no longer be available for sale in digital stores. The game will remain in players' libraries if they already own them. So there you go. It's
like the new Flappy Bird.
Oh, I remember that. That guy stopped selling it for stopped doing it for some reason.
Yeah, and then people were selling their phones for thousands of dollars if they had Flappy Bird on it.
Wow.
If I was him, I would have made that game sold that game until the cows come home. Just, milk it and then retire.
He was like in India, so he was getting death threats because he made this game and he was making, millions and millions of dollars. So people wanted to kill him. So he's like, all right, I'm just going to take my money and leave.
Shit, I'd have left India and kept making the game.
Yeah. It sounds like there's something going on with the Tolkien estate on that one because there's time limits on some of their rights, and like with the Amazon show, if they don't start making it within a certain amount of time, they lose the money and the right to make it. Maybe it's got something to do with that. I don't know. I'm just guessing. That's weird.
I mean, that's a good guess though.
They're going to start if you have something digital and they start pulling it, or one of these Voodoo changed from ultraviolet, went to Voodoo, and if Voodoo goes away, then you could just lose all your movies. So yeah, that's going to happen. I know iTunes does that stuff once in a while. So
I'm glad I didn't invest in my Voodoo library. It's just digital copies of Blu-rays I already bought, but still, it's the principle. I'm with you.
Yeah,
mine's mine. I paid for it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Emp Reb says no. Thank you very much, Emp Reb. Sentient Root Beer says, Lord World, we actually live in the same state. I guess talking to me, Sentient Robot. Or Root Beer? Sentient Robot, sorry. I like that name, Sentient Root Beer. TK says, keep up the great live streaming, folks. Very grateful for all your channels.
Thank you.
And we are grateful for you.
See, it's stuff like that always makes me go, oh, people do care. That makes me feel like good. I know people laugh and say that sounds hokey, but I genuinely am happy to hear that kind of stuff.
The hell, yeah, hell with that. Hokey away. I love it. And we all love to hear it because a lot of times we're alone in our rooms recording videos and we don't hear that feedback. So I love live streaming. It's my favorite. So
it's weird. I was doing it every day for 3 hours and now I'm doing less. And I kind of miss this. That's why. And I think a lot of people do too, because we're really holding a long audience. I know I got to get through these super chats so you guys can go, but like we've pretty much held an awesome audience. The whole night. So I think they really like what we're doing.
Real quick, I know you got to get through the super chats.
Oh yeah, dude, say what you want to say, man.
My miserable time at Tesla towards the end, your morning show got me through, dude. So I was listening to you every morning you were on. Those dark days at the end of Tesla when it, just going to work just was sucked. So thanks, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad a lot of people liked that show. And the funny thing is, when I announced that I couldn't do it for a while, people were like, man, that helps me get through work and this and that. And I'm just like, guys, I got to finish this book. But I will eventually get the other channel monetized, and I'll do without sleep. If I can get this channel to go super high and that channel to just continuously entertain people, we can find a happy medium, folks.
I always have to listen to like the replay because I'm not up early enough since we are in different time zones. But I just remember I was driving to work and the traffic was so bad because it was completely stopped. People were getting out of their cars and going for walks, and I'm just sitting in my car laughing because you're talking about like the bat dong. And I really like your morning show. It's very entertaining. It's a nice way to start off the day.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. I found that I connected with the community much more through the live streams than I did the videos. Because, you get a bunch of views, but not everyone comments and not everyone's as genuine. Like I got a lot of people that I know through the podcast that I've met because like, oh, I listen to your morning show. And, they come to the conventions to meet us and stuff. So I do want to get back to that because I like the growth, but I do like the personal touch. And that's, I don't know, I just would hate to lose that fully. If that makes sense.
No, it totally makes sense.
To know you in the live stream because it's you just being you, and people like that and they respect that. Yeah, doing your great editorial videos gets you lots of views, and I love your videos. But I really got I felt like you get to know people when they're talking in their live streams, which is why I really like listening to Good Morning Pop Culture.
Damn it. I'll bring it back eventually, folks. For those in the chat that are going, bring it back. It's not dead. It's just on hiatus.
Yeah, get your book finished. That's good. You got your priorities, and can't wait to see that book. The art is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. It's really, really good.
I'm having a good time with it. The colorist I got, he's a little slow, but he's really good. So
why didn't you ask me? I would have done it for you.
I didn't know you wanted to color comic pages.
Yeah.
Well, I have an idea for something. I don't want to announce it on air. I'm sure you'll agree to it, but I just want to talk to you about it first before we make an announcement. But I think it's something cool you'll want to be a part of. So we'll be talking soon. Mega Jetty wants his last chat until Friday. Anna, hope you got my email.
I haven't gone on my emails just because of what happened with right when I got back and my sister being in the hospital. So I've been trying to deal with that. So I apologize to anyone that's emailed me within the past 3 days. I've been occupied, so I apologize.
Let's see. Stone Cold Jeremy says, "Bombastic Bagman, best costume ever." It's a good costume. That's what. It's in the later 200s because 254 or 252 is when he first gets the black suit in Amazing Spider-Man, right?
Yep.
So he figured that's alive. What? A couple issues later, right?
Yep.
Because by Web of Spider-Man, he's ditched the suit and gone back to the red and blue, but then the black suit finds him in the closet, and then the famous bell tower scene.
Yes.
God, we can seriously nerd about Spider-Man for 20 hours straight.
Oh, I could. I'm going to be reading Back in Black again. I love that story so much. Straczynski gets a lot of crap, like you said, but he breaks into the prison and beats.
I don't think his run was complete garbage. I really don't. No. I read it when it was new because it was weird. My mom would take me out. She worked at a restaurant called Big Boy. They're all over the country, but she was the manager there, and she worked 6 days a week. She was off on Sundays, and she'd take me to the mall, and every Sunday I'd get a Spider-Man book, and it was during the Straczynski run, and I was hooked. Like Romita Jr. was drawing it. I loved that shit. You know, maybe it's nostalgia, but I still go back and enjoy it, all of it. I mean, even the Spider Totem stuff's a little weird, but overall, I still enjoy it.
I enjoyed the hell out of it. So I think you're right there. Your mom worked at Bob's Big Boy. Was it Bob's Big Boy?
It's technically, that's how you're gonna know it. Here it's called Frisch's Big Boy, but it's the same logo. It's the same Big Boy guy. It's just a different franchise.
Awesome. Yeah, I stole one of those in high school.
Like a full size one.
The full size Big Boy. Yeah.
What'd you do with it?
Brought it home and then had to bring it back because my dad got pissed.
If I would have done that, my mom would have been like, "All right, we'll just keep it in the basement." She's always got my back. Grand Inquisitor says, "Quick, Robin, grab a Batawang." Oh, see, that's the kind of Batman I don't want to read stories about.
Mm-hmm.
Gojirify says, "Mary Jo Cart Jeremy will be doing High Council next week." Uncultured Props and Film says, "Robotech from the 80s." I guess that's their favorite anime.
That's good. That is very good. Yes.
Isn't that like a couple shows combined, like Macross or something like that?
I think so. I've only seen a couple. I mean, I saw the comics too. They're incredibly popular, but they were good. Yeah, I'm not sure that they were combined for America, probably, or that would be my guess.
It's not that this would be a topic of a video I'd ever make, but I would be interested to watch a YouTube video that tells you the difference between Japanese and American stuff and why it was made. Like I find like, oh, they were afraid, it was too violent or too sexual. Like, okay, I would watch shit like that.
Yeah, I would too. That'd be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Crossbreed Azure says, "Loving the show, and I saw Broly over the weekend, and it's a beautiful movie. The animation is so fluid, and they have some incredible angles. The story is great. It's like classic Dragon Ball Z."
Excellent.
I will give it a watch eventually. I actually picked up a new Dragon Ball Z figure not too long ago because I love SH Figure Arts, and GameStop had a sale. But DBZ, I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool with that. Krista Joe, thank you very much. With multiple MCU characters, Loki, etc., getting their own series on Disney Plus, if you were in control, what characters and story arcs would you choose? Ooh, I like this question. You guys have anything that comes to mind first?
Anna goes first.
I mean, I'm biased. I like Loki because I like Tom Hiddleston. 100%. That's me being misogynistic, but I actually really like the idea of Vision. I think it has to do with the fact that I really liked Data in Star Trek. So I like that type of character where even though they're not human, that they're trying to be human, even though they're far superior. So I would really be interested in that. But I prefer DC to Marvel. So I'm, not the biggest Marvel fan.
All right. Repeat the question again. Sorry. I'm old.
It says, if you were in control, what characters and story arcs would you like to see? I guess for the Disney Plus, like what Disney Plus streaming service show would you like to see for a Marvel character?
For what? Moon Knight. If I could pick my own character, Moon Knight. I would. I think Moon Knight is tailor made for television. It's a character they haven't gone over, but I'm a big fan of the supernatural Marvel universe. So anytime you could bring in Ghost Rider would be my absolute first choice. Bring in Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, do it right, and then introduce the supernatural side, Werewolf by Night, Brother Voodoo, Satana, all of that the stuff that Kevin Feige hasn't touched yet. And I would make a whole TV thing on that. You could bring in Dracula if you want to. It would be lots of fun. The zombie, I love all that stuff.
See, it makes me sad that the fans don't have more control because this shit would be kind of cool.
Just do a shared supernatural Marvel universe. You can even bring in the Doctor Strange once in a while. I would love to see the real Defenders come back. This, Jeff, the Hulk, Doctor Strange, and Namor. Throw in Silver Surfer and a real Valkyrie in that would be cool too. So
I'd watch it. As of now, with everything they've put out, I will watch what they make because I've enjoyed it all, and that's not coming from a fanboy perspective. It varies. Some stuff I love, some stuff I'm just okay with, but overall, I've enjoyed the MCU experiment. I don't want to say Spider-Man, even though that is my dream, because I think that character lends itself better to TV than just movies. Because Spider-Man's a soap opera at times. You know, I would love to. I would watch an episode just about the Daily Bugle, and you know, J. Jonah Jameson would be an important part of that. But another Marvel character that I would want to see get a show. Oh God, I'm looking at my Marvel figures that I've purchased so I can get a quick idea. Because you know how it is. You like so many characters, and they all come rushing through your head.
Yep.
Daredevil got one. Wolverine wouldn't be a good TV show. A miniseries of Wolverine in Japan could be cool, but that ain't happening. Oh man, that's tough. I'm just gonna throw you Spider-Man just so I can save time and not hem and haw over. I'm sorry. That is my dream. That's what I would watch every episode. Fuck, I wish I could work on it.
They need to do TV shows with the main characters. I would love a Batman TV show, a proper Batman detective with Robin established TV show.
That would be epic. Even if they did like just showing the school with X-Men and them training, that would be interesting. And then you could bring in new characters every season, and it would make sense because New Mutants are, you know, coming into puberty and getting their powers.
Mm-hmm. And that would be workable as long as they didn't make it like Runaways. But I would watch the hell out of that. I guess New Mutants is going to Hulu now, so
I didn't think that movie was ever going to see the light of day. Honestly, that was my guess on a podcast episode.
That was mine too. But a Spider-Man TV show would be great. That's where they belong. Actually, that's why Daredevil worked. It's serialized storytelling. That's where it belongs. It is a soap opera. I don't need the big grand battle special effects all the time. I think it'd be great. And
I would do my Spider-Man in college. And I know I've made this argument on my own videos, but seriously, Gary, it's because he's a high school kid, and you know the way parents are, the cell phones, and they're always watching the kid. You know what I'm saying? Like he can't go on his own and do his shit. Like, did you? I don't know if you read. You said you read up till 600.
Yep.
Okay, so when he did in that run or within those numbers, did he go off with the Fantastic Four to like an alternate dimension, which would felt like a few months, but he comes back and like Jameson's the mayor and he's been gone for like 2 or 3 months? Was that during the issues you read?
That was after, wasn't that the Future Foundation stuff? Because I didn't. That was later. 600 was
the marriage of J. Jonah Jameson and Aunt May, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to remember this. This is like going way back.
Issue.
I'm gonna check the issue. I can't remember it though.
I was just saying, like, with him always being under constant watch from Aunt May, and Peter's missing, and then Iron Man will go look for him. Like, I never can get into the whole like. Remember when he like would get beat up and be gone for days? Like, I slept here, or did this, or I've been beaten, I haven't showered in days and stuff. Like, I just like that Spider-Man.
Yeah,
he's always in danger type of thing.
Well, that was kind of a callback to what it used to be, when he was hiding it from everybody and everybody didn't know where he was. And he was always, that was what made him special. That's why he couldn't join a team. That's why he was the best solo character ever and should have stayed that way. But
I loved I think it was the 5th Amazing Spider-Man annual when the Avengers offer him a spot, but he's got to beat up the Hulk or something. And he realizes the Hulk's misunderstood. So he just tells the Avengers to kind of stuff it and walks away. That's a really good story. Anyway, sorry. Long detours there, folks. Sorry. Anthony Yamada says, feeling altruistic. So are we. Jeremy Peerboom says, best episode of the High Council yet. Love these guests. Please have them on more often.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks.
Now, Jeremy is a good dude. I've met Jeremy in person. He drove all the way to Indianapolis to meet us at a convention. He is also a comic book artist, so he's living out his dream. And he's friends with some pretty big names, like comic book wise. He's a cool dude. I've had him on before. I'll have him on again. I think you'd like him, Gary, quite a bit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He's a lot of fun to talk to. Gojirify says, if Spock and Chewie were in the shower, who would shampoo who first?
I think Spock would shampoo Chewbacca because he would just be dirtier because he's hairier. And it would be logical because he would want to befriend Chewbacca and not get it depends. Are they in prison together, or are they living together? What's the situation? What are the parameters here? Yeah, so we're gonna say prison rules. Then Spock would wash Chewbacca first, so he doesn't get punked out. It's logical.
There we go. Anna, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Oh my. I would agree that Spock would wash Chewie because he would see him as an overgrown pet. So thinking in that sense, he would wash his pet because owners of pets usually have to wash their pets. So
Yes.
there you go.
There you go.
He's a giant tribble.
Hmm.
Let's see. What else we got here? Rhino4563, thank you very much. Good evening, High Council. Jeff, were you as disappointed by the Kessel run in Solo as I was? Have they ever explained it in the EU before? It really didn't have an impact for me. I was disappointed because here's my problem. Another problem with Disney Star Wars. They take these mythical things in quotations and they try to turn them into a story element because it's a talking point from a very famous movie that we all know and love. So when I watched the Solo thing, like, oh, the Kessel run's going to be explained. And I think where Disney fails is that because we don't know what it is, we've built it up in our minds. And then when we see it, I don't think it meets anyone's expectations, good or bad. So I was disappointed. I didn't think it was anything special. They just flew around because they had to rush some illegal energy source. I would have liked this movie if it was more Han and Chewie on the run themselves, doing their own thing. It was too much of a group heist movie. They had her, they had Woody Harrelson, they had Lando, they had all these things. The L337 computer was plugged in. They were trying to do all this shit, and it just didn't work. So, Rhino, I was disappointed. Remember, I don't read a lot of the EU books. The ones I've read wouldn't interest you, like The Courtship of Princess Leia, stuff like that. So,
Is that one good? I haven't read that one yet.
I guess I like it because I read it as a kid, and it is just the story of how Han Solo and Princess Leia get married. So I enjoy it. Like I'll never forget, I went to the library as a kid, and I had a library card, but for some reason, I read half of the book at the library, went home, rode my bike back, and read the second half the next day. I don't know why I didn't just rent it, but I went to the library twice to read it, and it stuck with me because like Han Solo, I think, wins a planet. And I know that sounds dumb, but like there's this other guy that's going after Princess Leia because I think he wants her for like political reasons and he loves her. And I think Han Solo does this shit to impress her. It's a cool story. I like it. So give it a shot.
Romantical. Have you read the Thrawn trilogy or duology?
I have the books and I'm reading the comic right now, so I can at least know the story and tell everybody, oh, I've read it. So
it's really good.
From what I'm reading, I like. So I'm all about
I
that.
actually liked the duology better than the trilogy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Timothy Zahn's at Star Wars Celebration.
I'm not going.
Oh, you're not?
No.
I thought you were making it.
I was, but then it's like, it's all the way in Chicago. That's not only hotel, but like flying over there. And it's too much.
Believe me, I understand. We're not trying to. We already bought our tickets and we're getting everything set up. It's a bunch, but we're going to film a lot of stuff for the channel. So at least you'll feel like you're there. Plus, if I film anything extra that we don't put up, I can send you links to stuff. So you can see all the behind the scenes stuff too.
Sounds cool. If you meet Mark Hamill, tell him there's still people out there that care.
I will tell him that after I'm done hugging him.
Yeah.
Well, Luke, I still like the guy. I feel like he'd be a lot of fun if you got to know him personally. Mark C says, FYI, Robotech was 3 separate shows mushed together.
There you go.
There we go. Cesario Japan says, obligatory fuck Harmony Gold comment. Fair enough.
Okay.
You don't know what Harmony Gold is? They do. They were some of the people that would dub anime, and I think they butchered them a lot.
Oh yeah, and they were putting in. They were the ones. Were they the ones putting? Were they butchering them or putting in political stuff? Or was that no? That was Crunchyroll, right?
Yeah, Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Is the Harmony Gold's old, I think.
Okay.
Like the stuff they put out was like in the 90s. Remember when it was like $30 for a VHS with 1 episode on it?
Yep.
That's why I think for at least me, anime was kind of cost prohibitive. And we had cable when I was growing up. Not growing up, but when I was a certain age. So I would watch like Toonami and catch Lupin the Third and some of that stuff. But overall, I didn't get into it as much as, like you said, American comics are where it's at for me. So, but I respect Japanese stuff. I love, Japanese, obviously video games. Some of the game shows are crazy. 007 Cloud says, wonderful stream, guys. Geeks need to stay united. Damn right we do.
Yeah, they keep trying to divide us and get us, and we are right now. And we used to not be. We used to be. We didn't used to argue about that. The stuff we argued about was stuff within Star Trek or Marvel versus DC, and that's even considered toxic by some. So screw them. Hopefully, when we go back to our, when comics go back to being niche and sci-fi goes back to being niche and Star Trek goes, that's the best possible result. Now, what happens when they're owned by big companies? The thing I like to point out with Disney is Disney bought up in a much smaller sense. In the 90s, they bought 2 sports teams. They bought the Ducks and they bought the Angels. They ruined both organizations and end up selling them. And don't be surprised if one of these properties gets sold or broken off or something, if, things go down, if things turn, which they could, if, say, a streaming service doesn't succeed. So
now remember, Disney bought Power Rangers and then sold it back to Saban for years. So Disney owned Power Rangers for a couple years. Then it didn't work out, so it went back to Saban, who now sold it to Hasbro, who owns the Power Rangers. So there's another example of a media property that Disney once held that didn't work. So
yeah,
anything's possible, guys. Always hold out hope. Don't give up on that shit. And then finally, our friend Adam Wofford says, I would like to see Spider-Man 2099 TV or movie.
Yeah. God, I forget the game. Shattered Dimensions or
Edge of Time.
Edge of Time. The one where Spider-Man 29 is so good. It is such a good game. If they did something like that, that would be great. Yeah. I love Spider-Man 20.
I enjoy the character suit. I liked Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. I thought it was one of the best. This new Spider-Man game, have you played it?
A little bit of it. I love it.
It's my favorite. It was my favorite game of last year. It's my favorite Spider-Man game. It's my favorite superhero game. Anna, I know you have an Xbox, but if you ever go to someone's house with a PlayStation and they have Spider-Man, take the time to sit down and test it out. I think you'll love it.
Is it first person or third person?
Third person, of course.
Okay, because I cannot figure out how to do first person. I actually got the Xbox for Christmas like 3 years ago. I used it to play Diablo, and I haven't touched it in like almost 2 years. So,
well, yeah. I use my PlayStation mostly for media streaming, but every once in a while, aka every night after I do my work, I'll play Spider-Man. I'll swing around the city. It's so fun.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it to the person that bought it for me that I really wanted to play Shadow of Mordor, and at the time it was only like for Xbox. So I think that's why I received an Xbox for Christmas, but I'm more of a PlayStation person myself.
I knew there was a reason why I liked you. And then we got one more super chat that rolled from 007's Cloud. I could play 2099. I'm Latino, LOL. Hey, what was his name? Miguel O'Hara, right?
Yes. So if you now we have a checkbox for you to fill. This is Disney. You have a checkbox for you to fill out and some pre-assorted tweets that you need to put out to attack the customers. Then you're hired. Oh, so Geeks and Gamers is in the chat. Look at that.
Oh. I feel bad for Jeremy because I was just about to say, is there anything else you guys would want to say before we close out this almost 3 hour episode over 3 hour episode of the High Council? Going on 4. Holy shit.
Damn.
Nice.
Honestly, guys, I mean this. It didn't feel like we went almost 4 hours. This was the smoothest, nicest stream I think I've done in like a long time. Seriously, this was awesome.
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to say is like I really love the High Council except for Jeremy. Jeremy's just, I don't know, Patriots fan, Tom Brady. Nah, I love you, Jeremy. I got a story to tell you because he's a Tom Brady fan that my wife, before she got sick, unfortunately, used to do Tom Brady's mom's hair. And little 15-year-old Tom Brady used to hang out in my wife's salon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Did he suck back then too?
He sucked back then too. But all the hairdressers thought he'd grow up to be a very handsome man.
Well, he did marry a supermodel, so
he did. Who makes more money than he does? No,
good for her, man.
Yeah, no,
she's cooler.
She is cooler, and she's a good practice receiver too. So when he got,
and she speaks Portuguese.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
She's from Brazil.
Yeah, no, she speaks multiple languages. She's actually pretty badass, that Giselle. So, yeah,
The
that's what's
Giselle
funny.
Bundchen Enthusiast Fan Club.
Yeah.
That's what our new name is. No more High Council.
No, Jeremy, you rock.
So Anna, plug your channel.
Oh yeah, here, let me pull it up. If I don't use my mouse, it freezes after a while. So give me a second. I'll grab both of our channels.
All right. So Gary, what's
Thank
your channel? Tell everybody.
Oh, my channel is the Nerdrotic channel, but in a couple days, it's just going to be called Nerdrotic. I'm dropping the channel. It's voted on by my patrons. Please come over, check it out. I cover television and maybe occasionally complain about Doctor Who. Well, maybe it's more than occasionally. And my next Rotten Tomatoes video was delayed because I was invited on the High Council, which was a great honor. So that'll be out in a couple days. Thanks, guys.
And I just plugged your channel for you. I'm about to plug mine.
Thank you, Anna.
You're welcome.
But yeah, folks, High Council, highlight a Tuesday night, now highlight a Wednesday morning. So, that's cool. But I'd like to thank everyone who joined us. We had a great turnout. We were well over 1,000 listeners, and we definitely held a majority of the audience. So Nerdrotic, Anna, obviously you guys are invited to come on the channel anytime. So if you guys are ever bored or want to just shoot the shit over here with me or whatever, we'll get together. We'll have fun. It's always nice to hear new perspectives on entertainment, especially geek culture. I mean, we're all part of this culture war. I think we all definitely feel the sting of companies like Disney, Sony, EA, all kinds of them. Not Valve, Bethesda, all these big companies that kind of attack their fan base. They put out subpar products. And anytime we bring it to the attention of other people through our channels or, whatever we write or choose to do, we're usually called all these terrible things. And that seems to be, cool, but it's not. So I'm of the mindset, the consumer is usually always right, maybe not in their opinion, but with their dollars. So they determine what works, what doesn't. And a lot of you have determined that what we do works. So from world-class bullshitters, from Nerdrotic, because no longer Nerdrotic channel, we like to live in the future, like Mike Zero, and at Star Wars Girl, we'd like to wish you a good night, and we'll catch you next time on probably Geeks and Gamers. Night, folks.